How's everyone's day been?
Good.
Very good. How's everyone's day been? You know, so I'm definitely excited for you guys to be out here today. You know, we wanted to get in some sort of training when it comes to the Forex side, some sort of training when it came into some of the services, and then also on the marketing side. Who's excited to learn today?
Yeah.
I hope so, because we flew a long way there. So we got a couple people that are going to go into different topics, and you know, a couple more people that are actually on their way. They just ran into a little bit of technical difficulties. I know snowing and delayed flights and all that kind of stuff, but we're all here. We're making it happen. So I'm super excited for every single one of you guys. Make sure you got, I see laptops, notebooks, everything. Make sure you take notes, you know, because we always say note takers are money makers. You know, so definitely take as much notes as possible. And the information that you guys get today, take it and actually apply it. Okay, because this information has the ability to change my life completely. You know what I mean? So if it could do something for me, it could do something for you guys, every single one of you guys, because I'm not nobody special. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up somebody that I have a tremendous amount of respect for. You know, he's well respected in the industry. You know, he's well respected on a serious level when it comes to trading, and has been trained by some of the top Forex traders in North America. Okay? So what I want you guys to do is make as much noise as possible for Mr. Ralph.
Listen, man, I'm so excited. I'm excited to be here. Can you guys hear me? Yeah. First of all, what I can say is I'm very proud of you guys. The last time I believe Jerome came, it was a small group of students, and over the past year, Kenneth is not here, but I'm so proud of Kenneth and what he's doing in Estonia and what you guys are doing. And like, out of this whole trip, this is the place that I wanted to be. I wanted to be here. I had to be here. And like, I tell Jerome this all the time, that you guys are so hungry. I haven't seen a group of people so hungry as you guys. And I'm so serious. You guys are so hungry, and it pushes me. And I'm so happy that I made the trip from Miami to come all the way in the snow. Listen, it's cold. It's cold. But I'm happy to be here. So this is what we're going to do. I want us to be interactive. All right. A lot of times, you know, we teach, and you know, you don't ask questions. But today I want to be interactive, right? And I'm going to start from the very basics. So, for those of you that don't know me, I'm going to tell you a quick story about myself. All right. I started trading almost 4 years ago. All right. Almost 4 years ago. And when I first learned when I first heard about trading, I don't know about you guys, but it was something that I was not looking forward to, because I heard it was like stocks. And from what I understand, stocks is for old rich people. And I wasn't old, and I wasn't rich. Right? So I was like, okay, this is not for me. And I tell this all the time, that in school and in college, I started college in 2005. I finished college in 2013. All because of math. I could not pass math. I couldn't. I could not pass math. I failed math over and over and over and over. So when I was introduced to Forex, I was like, okay, I see numbers, I see a graph, this ain't for me. You know, my mind already gave up. But something in me told me that, no, I gotta go try something different, right? Because there's a lot of people that are out there that are, you know, they go to work, they're miserable. And I didn't want to be that part or be that person. So I pushed and went ahead and started doing it. 5 months into it, I was done one for a long time. Right? A lot of us, we into it and we want to start making money right away. Relax. Calm down. Relax. It takes time to learn the skill set. If I was to say that you can make $1,000 a day and it takes you 4 years, would you do it?
Definitely.
Would you do it?
Yeah.
Would you hold on and do it? Right?
Yeah.
But some of us want to make what I make in 3 months, make it in 2 months. It doesn't work like that. All right? Of course, some of you guys are smarter than me. Right? I wasn't the smartest guy in the shed. Right? But I'm doing it. If I can do it, you can do it. Right? But it takes time. You have to relax. You have to learn, demo as long as you can, and when you're ready, when you feel that you're ready to go live, then go live. Don't rush it. Because when you rush it and you lose money, you begin to fear. And that fear makes you quit. A lot of people quit this industry because of fear, or because they lost money. They went in too quick, all right? So today I'm going to teach you a little bit of what I do when I first look at the market. How many of you guys here, this is your, let's say you've been in it 6 months. 6 or more, 6 or fewer. 6 and down. How many? Wow. 5. 5 and fewer. Wow. 4? 3? 2? 2 months? 1 month? 1 week? Oh. Wow. So, all right. So a lot of us are new. So for me, I started. Now, how many of us go on IML TV?
Every single one.
Wow. IML Academy. Probably passed it already, right? Probably passed it. How many of us know Luc? All right. So what I do, right? So let me show you a few things of what I do. When I look at the market, let me just use. Give me a pair. Any pair. So look at it. Any pair.
GA. AUD.
See, I don't look at this in my life. I don't look at this in my life. All right. So the first thing I do, when you see this, are you looking at an uptrend or downtrend? What do you see?
Uptrend.
Uptrend. Why?
It's going up.
No, Max. You don't answer this. No. You're not part of this. No. You're not part of this. Anybody else? Why is it an uptrend now?
Higher high and higher low.
There you go. Good job. All right, so we have higher highs, right, and higher lows. Anybody know what a high low is?
Yeah.
What am I talking about? All right, so when we see higher highs, right, and higher lows, for those that don't know, that's been here, about a week, like I heard, right? High highs and high lows is simply, all right, so this is a higher low, all right? So on the uptrend, we're looking for higher highs and higher lows, right? Basically, a high low is the low point of a movement.
Surprise,
all right?
surprise! Continue. Focus.
Right, so a high and low is a low point of a movement, right? And a higher high is a high point, right? So we have a higher high, higher low, higher low, right? So when we see a certain pattern, right, of it going up, so on the uptrend, we're looking for higher highs and higher lows. On the downtrend, we're looking for lower lows. Ooh, boy. Clap for yourself, man. On the downtrend, we're looking for lower highs and lower lows. Now, how I use this is that this is one of my confirmations to enter the market, right? So, if, and somebody time me, all right? Somebody, Jerome was somebody time me. Go on. All right, so, so on a higher high and a higher low, how many of us can tell where the support and resistance is based off of this? Oh boy, got real quiet. All right, so one of the ways that I draw my support and resistance is based off of, on an uptrend, based off of my higher high and my higher low, all right? So I draw my support and resistance based off of on an uptrend, a previous high and a current low. So a previous high and the current low, right? So if I was to draw a line, you see that, right? So this is where I am able to see where the market is indecisive, right? So a previous high, and the current low. Same thing, a previous high, and the current low. Make sense?
Yeah.
So when you see this, right, when you identify your high highs and high lows, this is where you are able to draw your support and resistance, right? So this is a place where I can enter. This is where I look for entry, right here. Look for entry based off of retests, all right? So based on market structure, I can use it for many things. Enter the market and also draw my support and resistance. Make sense? Or are we lost? Are we good?
Yeah.
Thumbs up if we're good.
Yeah.
Thumbs up if you don't, thumbs up. Thumbs down if you don't get it that much. All right? Don't be scared. If you don't get it, it's okay. All right? And if you have any questions, just raise your hand. All right? So we have a high, low. All right. Next. So this is one of the ways that I use to enter the market, right? Based off of market structure. I go on my my high, low, enter off of. Let me delete this. All right. So one of my entries. So I'm gonna give you five confirmations that I use to enter the market. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Is that okay? So in order for me to enter the market, I gotta have 3 to 5 confirmations before I enter the market. Some of us, we enter the market based off of our feeling. Or I feel like the market's gonna do this. Guess what? The market don't care about your feeling. They don't. The market don't care. When I first started trading, it was a lot on how I felt. Oh, I see a lot of green, so let me buy. Or I see a lot of red, let me sell. Not knowing that there were areas where the market was gonna reverse, right? We have zones, we have support and resistance, we have supply and demand. I didn't know that. I just see the market, I just see green, and I just buy. I see red, I just sell, which is not a bad thing because of course you want to trade with the trend. But the market's going to reverse at a certain point, right? And when I realized that pullbacks, something called pullbacks, were key to learning how to trade. So if you're trading, right? If you see, and this is what I see a lot of people do. I see a lot of people, when they buy, or like if they see a trend going up, they're buying somewhere over here, not realizing that at some point the market's going to pull back, right, to come back and retest, either, in this case, Evo, what's up, man? I just see you.
Oh, good, bro.
Right? So, when the market breaks, or in this case, right here, right? When the market breaks a resistance, we're not getting a market over here. We also have to wait for the pullback to make another, on an uptrend, to make a higher low, right? When it makes a pullback and hits that higher low, that's when we enter the market for a buy. Remember, is you buy what? Buy low, you sell high. You buy low and you sell
Hi.
You buy low, you sell
Hi.
Thank you. All right, so. Oh man. Loosen up. It's all good. It's all good. All right. So one of the ways is high highs, high lows, low highs, low lows. Another way is using my support and resistance. So I don't enter the market unless it's hidden, either a support or resistance. So I'm not here to teach how to draw support and resistance. All right. So based on this is my chart, and this is how I trade. It's very simple. Very simple. I don't have no indicators. I don't use indicators. The reason why I don't use indicators is because I believe that indicators were created by who? A man. Who is the man or who is the woman? Maybe it's a market maker. Somebody that's there to make you lose. When I was using indicators, I lost. When I stopped using it, I started winning. Because I traded naked. This is called naked trading. Confluence. Right? Just learning how to use supply and demand, support and resistance, Fibonacci, market structure, trend line. Let me write this so that you guys can have this down. What I use to trade. All right, so support. Support was. Ooh. Support resistance. Supply and demand. Because of time, I just want to write these down so at least if I don't finish it, you know what's going on. Supply and demand. Fibonacci, I'm just put fibs. Retest. Look. Market structure. I didn't put it in order, but it's okay. Market structure. So, trend line, thank you. Trend line, and I use EMA, SMA. Right, so for the market structure, I have high highs, high lows, and lower highs. Right. So this is all I use to trade. Can you guys see it? Is it too dim? Can you guys see it? Okay. So this is all I use to trade. I stick to this. All right. Okay. I stick to this because this is what made me successful. All right. When you start your IML Academy, or you start your, what I like to tell you guys is pick somebody that you like. All right. I trade a certain style. You might not trade that style. Just because I trade a certain style and you see me, you like how I am, doesn't mean you trade the way I am or what I do, right? Christopher Derrick trade similar to me, right? Justin Adams trade similar to me. What's his name? New York session. What's his name? Lex Waves trades different from me, totally different from me, right? He's a good trader. I'm an okay trader, right? I'm not gonna say I'm good. I don't want to boost myself up, but I'm an okay trader, right? We have so many educators in the company. Choose somebody that you like. Choose somebody that you understand. Choose somebody that you emulate, or that you can emulate easily or copy easily. All right? And it's important that you have a trading plan, right? So all the things that I taught, if you don't have a trading plan, it's a waste. What's a trading plan? A trading plan is having a daily routine that you follow, right? So for you guys, I don't know how many of you guys go to work or you go to school, but have a certain routine that you can follow. Just because Max is doing this doesn't mean you have to do it, right? Because Max can be trading in London session because, let's say he works from this time to this time, so he's free at this time. You're not. So don't pick something that he's doing that you can't. Force yourself to do something, right? So for me, I'm up at 8 a.m. Well, I do a lot of my work at 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., which is Eastern time, which is New York session, right? So I trade US market or US pairs. That's what I trade. But for you guys are in Europe, so you're GMT plus 2, right? GMT plus 2. So it'd be easier for you guys to do Euro pairs because you guys are more awake around that time, right? From your time would be like 9 p.m. 9 a.m. London session is 9 a.m. for you guys? Yeah. 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. Right? So for you guys, it will make sense to trade the Euro sessions. Any pair with Euro, right? Not picking USD, CAD, USD. You're not up at that time. So it wouldn't make sense to be trading a US pair that don't have Euro in it, right? So what was I saying? Your market plan, right? Your strategy. How many pips are you catching a day? Like, how many of you guys know that? Like, do you have a plan? Raise your hand if you have a plan. Right? How many pips are you catching a day? How many pips will you catch a week? One advice I can give is that don't go based on money. Go based on pips. The reason why you go based on pips is because when you catch 50 pips per day for 3 years, what happens to your account? It grows, right? So the 50 pips that you caught, that you made $5, 3 years from now, that'll be $50,000. It's still 50 pips because you grow your account gradually, right? But if you focus, a funny thing with me is that when I started trading, I was looking at my mentors. They're making $1,000 days, right? I had a $100 account. They had $10,000 account. I didn't know that. So they're making $1,000 days, and I'm trying to make $1,000 as well with a $100 account. But I didn't know that. I was what's the word? I was
Hungry.
I was naive, right? And I didn't get it. But once you grow, so what I follow is that I grow. I don't know if you guys seen what I do, but I grow an account. I grew the account. The first time I grew my 6 figures, right? I grew an account from $100, right? From $100 in a year, in 12 months, I made $400 and something thousand. I grew my account 50 pips per day. 50 pips per day. And I follow that, and I do that every year. Like, and this is what I teach. But if you don't follow a certain trading plan, you're not going to succeed. Because you just make $50 here, or you catch 25 pips here, 30 pips here, this day, and one day you don't trade, and then this, and you know, it's not a plan. You have to have a plan and be consistent with your plan. Otherwise, just doing it for it. Just doing it. And you're not going to grow as fast as you should grow, all right? So it's important for you to have a plan. And the last thing I want to talk about, before I open up the floor for questions, the last thing I want to talk about is that what are you doing in order for you to grow as a trader, right? What are you doing? Because trading is 90% mental, 10% technical, all right? So if you're not right here, you're not going to have good days. All right, so for me, what I do is that every morning I wake up, I listen to personal growth, personal development from somebody. Either, now we have Les Brown, right? And I listened to Les Brown way before he came to the company, way before. Because he's from Miami as well. So I knew about him a long time ago. I listened to Tony Robbins. All right, Tony Robbins is somebody that I love. I listened to, what is his name? I think it's a code. It goes down my brain. Oh my God. E.T. Eric Thomas. Right? Eric Thomas. Sometimes I listen to Gary Vee, even though he curses a lot, but I still listen to him because he tells the truth. Right? I listen to Grant Cardone. That's my guy. Right? When I leave here on Friday, I'm going straight to a conference that he's having in Miami. Going straight to that and learn some more. So I'm growing gradually. Right? I'm not just trading all day. No, I'm growing. My mind is the most important thing. So because my mind is right, I could look at the market and just be at ease. And one of the things I don't do is I don't chase the market. I let the market move and I follow it. Follow your trading plan. Make sure you have your confirmations at hand. One question. Anybody? One question. Anything you want to ask. Anything you want to ask. Oh my God. Let me say this.
No questions?
Look, you guys have access to me, all right? Every single one of you have access to me. I say this all the time. Some people reach out to me. A lot of people reach out to me, actually. But most of you guys don't reach out. I want you to reach out. We do one-on-one. You guys are part of my team. Did you know that? Did y'all know that? You're part of my team. So you can always reach out to me. You can do one-on-ones. I'm open to do one-on-ones. Don't be scared. Reach out to me. I don't bite, all right? Don't be scared. Reach out to me. I tell this all the time. And for those of you, Aaron, where's Aaron? Yeah. Aaron reached out to me a couple weeks ago, and I'm sure you're getting some value, right? Right? All right, last question. All right, so that's my time. Thank you. All right. want to bring up is somebody that I highly respect. I highly respect. And we got together about 2 weeks ago, or 3 weeks ago in Canada, in the cold again. For some reason, it's about cold. But, you know, I talked to him, you know, over the plane ride, and, you know, try to pick his brain. This man is knowledgeable. When I tell you he's knowledgeable, he's knowledgeable. We know him, you know, because of what he's doing with gold and making everybody money, right? Gold Cup, you know, making everybody money. We're excited because he's making us money. But what he knows, I'm really impressed. And not just his skill set, but also his business mind. And today we are here to hear from him and learn from him. So at this time, I want you to help me to bring up to the front Luc.
My name is Luc Longmire. I've been training for about 2 years now. I want to give some gratitude, to Ralph, to Jerome, for all your leaders putting all this together. There's a lot of value, and I've never heard of Estonia before, and I had to Google it, and I was like, where is this place at? I'm like, oh damn, it's way up north, But I'm excited to be here. You guys you showed up, you got energy, you're paying attention. That's what it's all about. Is really, giving back. I'm gonna kind of share a little bit of backstory, who I am. It's kind of relevant to that you guys can do it too. My goal here is to give you value, but give you belief, right? On top of that, show you how to use Gold Cup and get into like a mini Forex training. So I want to jam pack a lot of value in a short amount of time. Make it a little interactive as well. So while he's kind of getting that set up, right? Let me go right here. Like I said, I've been trading for about 2 years now, right? Partnered up with IML, probably. Let's see here. How do you? Partnered up with IML November of last year, so about a year and about 2 months or so, right? And what I learned is, the value IML brings, right? Give me 1 second. Right, and before, how do you connect to the Wi-Fi? Their code. And a lot of people think, I'm going to share a little history of myself. I want to be raw with you guys. I'm very blunt, straight to the point, and everything. I don't like hold anything back. Is that cool if I be real? Yeah. So I back when I was 15, 16 years old, right? I learned, kind of like what Ralph said, I'm very business mindset, and I had a kind of not a rough past, but I chose a rough past. I had a really good family, really upbringing. Really involved in sports, and I had a and I got hurt in football. I had a scholarship to a college in Indianapolis, Indiana, and I hurt my shoulder, and I got involved in hustling drugs, right? And not just a little bit, but I was making multiple 6 figures hustling drugs. Right, and what I learned is the work ethic. I learned networking. I learned, meeting people in a kind of not a bad way, right? But just the aspect of it, the concept of it, right? And long story short, about 4 or 5 years in, right, I got locked up, right, and I had to do 6 months in jail, and that's where I learned, or not learned, learned. I got introduced to a book called Think and Grow Rich. Am I read it?
Yep.
Yes. Right? Amazing book. And it's funny, that I got introduced to that because I was at a point where I didn't know, I was living the lifestyle that I live now, traveling the world, meeting people, money in abundance, so to speak, right? But it was illegal, right? And I was like, man, if I can just figure out a way to live this life legit, my life would be made, And I got a job at Lowe's, boom, got a job at Lowe's, and I was like, man, this hourly shit, this is for the birds, right? I need more, right? I need more in life, right? So I got a job at the gym. For you guys that don't know, I do bodybuild. I used to competitively bodybuild. And that's one thing that bodybuilding really helped me as a trader, because it's discipline. Right? That's one of the biggest things as a trader is discipline. Right? We were talking about, me and Chris were talking about the other night, Chris for Derrick, and it's just about, you know, saying no to food, saying no to your greed and all that. Right? And I worked myself out to a general manager at a gym making 6 figures a year. Right? And with that, I got burnt out. It was sales. Ooh, sales. I get paid for selling someone commissions instead of my time. Right? And after about 4 years, I got burnt out. Right? Boom. Right? I was praying. I was praying for an opportunity. Praying for opportunity. If you believe in a higher power, God, doorknob, whatever it is, right? It's real. Right? Just like law of gravity. If I jump out of a 2-story building, it will fall. Right? Same thing with vibration and energy. Right? And I prayed, and next thing you know, this dude hits me up from Florida. He's like, yo, Luke, you look pretty successful. What do you do? I'm like, man, I'm a general manager at a gym, yada, yada, yada. He's like, cool. You're interested in making money? I'm like, yeah, I bet. Right? And, one second, entry was, these are all, don't go off this, right? Just enter a number. And I watched this video, basically what you guys watched for the presentation at Albert, and I said yes. Right? I was like, man, if I pay $200 and it's something, my life would change. If I paid $200, you know, and it's a scam, you know, cool. I got scammed $200. I spent $200 on a club, right? And that's when my life changed, right? And this is my story, right? So I do encourage you to learn, right? Now, previous company, right, that I was before IML, I did not even know what a PIP was, right? And I had a 6-figure income in probably about 90 days, right? I was a full-time networker. I was like, yo, you know, Ralph, Chris, or Derrick are the plug, right? Why would I even try to learn if I just can copy and paste, right? My 6-figure income went away overnight, right? I was built off of Auto Trader, right? And the Auto Trader went to crap. My check went to crap, right? And I was like, man, if you guys know Kevin Serrano, Shpila Sluga, right? Shpila's like the Jason Brown of the Forex side. She's in charge, not in charge, but she basically monitors all the educators, swipe trades, all that, right? And Kevin, he's an educator. I was like, I got 2 amazing mentors. Why not learn this skill? Right? So my point in telling my story is you can do it too. I'm a college dropout, barely graduated from college, right? I didn't tell you this part. When I got out of jail for 6 months, I had to go to a rehab house for a year, halfway house for a year, court order. Right? I wasn't addicted to anything, but I was like, yo, they got caught me with a lot of money and a lot of drugs. So the court ordered me to, right? And my point in telling this whole story, right, is that you guys can do it too. I have no finance degree, no econ degree, right? I'm just an average Jew with an insane work ethic, right? You have amazing mentors in the back, right, that can teach you this stuff, right? Just put in the work, grind, right? Show up to go up, right? So that's my story. I just want to give that belief to you guys, because if you can manifest it, if you can believe it in your mind, you can achieve it in the realm, the physical realm. You have to create it first. You have to create it first, right? So I'm going to go over how to use Gold Cup, how easy it is. I'm going to give it a mini Forex trading, and then go ahead and pass it off, right? So with Gold Cup, my vision behind Gold Cup is what I learned in the beginning is you're under your first 90 days, it's hard to learn. It takes time, right? As a business mindset for me, for my personal customers, where I was like, man, I gotta get them winning, right? And a simple, duplicatable, easy way, right? And my way of looking at the charts is a little bit different than some people, right? There's more than one way to score 2 points, right? I can do a fadeaway shot, I can do a layup, right? I can do a hook shot, so all 2 points, right? So with Gold Cup, it's simple as this. If you can follow instructions, you can make money, right? I focus on high accuracy trades, so I'm not about quantity, about quality, right? I trade maybe 3-7 trades a week, right? Last week I went 6-0, right? I focus on GU, right? I focus on gold, gold's my baby, and US 30, right? And I want to make this clear. If you do not have a $1,500 in your account, if you got Hugo's way, don't trade US 30. Right? Build your account, right, with gold and GU, right? And then trade off US 30. Why? Because stop losses are about 1,000 pips, right? I might catch 4,000 pips, right? But I don't want you guys to have a winning trade and you get margined out. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? So please, I see crazy amount of lots on my gold trades, like insane lots, right? But do not do that mistake with US 30. You will lose your account. When I teach my team, I'm going to teach you guys, if you do not use risk management and you do not go off what I say, you deserve to lose.
Wow.
Right? You deserve, like one of my guys is like, man, your trade won, but I got margin out. Cool, you deserve to lose. Luke, that's kind of harsh. No, you don't follow what I'm saying. I'm not saying I have exactly what you want, but I know what I'm doing. So please, 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 please use risk management. Right? Use risk management, you're pretty successful, right? Right? Listen to people that have what you want. Right? So low cup, write this down. Right? You're going to get, how are you going to get the notification? You're going to get 3 ways. Telegram, right? Subscribe to emails, right? Or just the app is going to notify you. Right? But I like to kind of overdo it, make sure you get it. You know what I'm saying? So if this is kind of like on silent, you get it through the Telegram. Or maybe a Telegram's on silent for whatever reason, you get the email. Right? So I'm a very, very step-by-step person. Right? Rules, so to speak. So basically step 1 is you get the notification. Step 2 is you select the right time frame. Right? Right here, and right up there, right? You have to make sure they stay the same. Because what happens is people see 1 hour chart up there, and they're selected on day 1. Right? That is the biggest question I get. Right? So make sure, right, you're selecting the right thing. Right? So that's step 2. Right? Select the right time frame. Step 3 is simple as this. Right? It's going to say buy or sell. So you buy or sell. They're all market execution. Right? Instant. I don't do pending orders very rarely. Right? And it's going to tell you to stop loss and take profit. I just didn't put it there just for time's sake. Right? So it's going to tell you the entry, just say, well, 12.30 is way down there, but it's just say it's $12.99, right? So you want to get in right around $12.99. Right? And it's going to tell you to stop loss, it's going to tell you to take profit. Right? It's going to have a little arrow where to get in at. Right? Any questions on Gold Rush side? Any at all? No slight confusion, no any confusion. Right? So there you get 2 strategies in one. Right? So this is Gold Rush, this is my side. And this is the teacup side, Lozado session, or style. Right? So step 1, you're going to select the broker. Right? You don't see your broker on here, doesn't matter. Right? They're all brokers are relatively the same besides, withdrawal and deposit, maybe a couple other things. Right? So step 1, select the time or the broker. Step 2, select the time frame. I would encourage you to select the hour 1. Right? And then step 3 is you're going to find a purple teacup. Purple teacup. The only reason they have a blue teacup is a couple teams have a strategy with the blue one, so they leave it on there. It's a pretty big team, so we just left it there. So just ignore that, ignore the noise, right? And if it's already triggered, just leave it alone. Don't have FOMO, fear of missing out, right? So remember, step 1, broker. 2, time frame. 3, pending teacup. 4, sell limit. They're all sell limits. Right? And if you are promoting my side, please tell people 70% accurate. Right? I don't know the math. I'm 52-9 since launch, so like 85% accurate. But if you're promoting this, under promise, over deliver. Say it with me. Under promise, over deliver. One more time. Now everybody's doing it. Under promise, over deliver. All right?
Amen.
There we go. Right? That's one thing I learned from Magic Johnson at GoPro. Right? I don't want to tell you 80% and you're at 78%. Luke, yo, bro, you said 80. It's at 75. You're complaining about 75% accurate. Well, you told me 80. Right? So make sure, guys. Right? And you're going to get about 3 to 7 trades per week. Right? Like I said, I'm not the dude who's going to send you 5 trades a day. Right? People have different styles. Right? But for me, that's over trading. Right? Less is more. Ever hear that network marketing? Only a few people learn that. All right? You're going to learn that from Jerome and Jason probably. Right? Less is more. All right? So quality over quantity. I'd rather have a $1 bill than 100 pennies. Feel me? All right? Any questions over teacup? Any questions? 4 steps. All right?
About these EMAs.
EMAs. He has a strategy with the EMA crossing. He tells people to go on a session to learn it. I don't know what EMAs really do. I just don't use them. But he has a strategy how to cross and stuff. Right? I don't know how to draw a fib, so it's crazy, right? Any questions? Perfect. Right, so I'm gonna get. I didn't want to cover too much of this. It's simple as follow directions: 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Now I'm gonna get into kind of the charts. Let's see if I can. Right. Right. So I got a new laptop, so I'm getting used to it. Alright, so I'm going to show you, this is UJ, let me get gold out. So gold right now is going to be a beautiful setup. I'm going to show you what we're looking for. I can't show you to the broker, right? So we'll look at UJ. It's the same basic style, but I'm going to go over a couple of things that's going to keep you accountable. Did you go over a trading plan at all? Did you go through like an in-depth one? Yes. Oh, okay, cool. So I'm going to go over basically, not a generic, but a very, very simple one, right? Either you can do like a compound thing, but I'm going to go over like the foundation of a trading plan really quick. So write this down. There's 3 steps. 1, what pair are you trading? So if you're using a harmonic, gold cup, a product, you know, this is totally separate from that. This is your own analysis, right? So you can learn, right? Step 1 is select a pair, 1 or 2 pairs. 1 or 2 pairs. If I'm dating 5 women, right, I'm going to get their favorite color mixed up, their favorite restaurant, their middle name, their favorite whatever mixed up. If I'm dating 1 woman, right, I'm going to know her in or out. You know, I'm going to know what she's thinking before she speaks usually. Right? Energy is going to match, etc. Right? So your focus is on 1. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? 2, pick a time. I didn't leave a job, right, for another job. Me personally, I don't like trading. It's boring. I'm a people person, right? Chart goes up, it goes down. I see buy, I see sell. I enter buy or sell. That's it. That's very boring. It's like watching paint dry, right? So when I say, right, I'm very good at it, but you know what I'm saying, right? So when I trade 3 hours. That doesn't mean I'm trading in 3 hours. All my entries are off that 1 hour chart. So I'm always looking at 12. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm not looking at the chart at 12:47. Not looking at the chart. It's 1. Okay. It's US time, right? So I'm not looking at it in the middle of the hour. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right? Because the candle is not closed. Like, Luke, there's a doji right here. Well, this doji, right, might not be a doji in 15 minutes. See what I'm saying? Right? I'm price action trader. I trade off 2 lines of price action. Right? Step 3, or category 3, is a pit bull. Anybody play sports?
Sorry?
Sports?
Yeah, football.
American football?
Nah.
You guys know the concept of American football?
Yeah.
Sure.
Right? So if I'm the quarterback, right, and I'm hiking the ball, and I don't call a play. I hike the ball. Right? My running back thinks he's going to get the ball. My receivers think they're going to get a pass. This side of the line is going to run block. This side of the line is going to pass block. Right? It's going to be a circus. Because no one knows what we're doing. There's no game plan. There's no play call. Your play call is pips or percent. Have a daily goal. Right? If you're going through life without goals, you're 99% sure going to fail at life. Right? Because you have no game plan in your life. You have no blueprint. Your blueprint is this trading plan. 50 pips a day is what I shoot for. You can do 100. You can do 25. Don't matter. But what works for you. Or a percent goal. Right? 5% is the kind of like the quota. Right? Maybe 10%. Right? Maybe 3%. Figure out what works for you. One of the hardest things for me is figuring out what type of trader I was. I don't have the patience to last my trade. If my trade lasts more than 12, 16 hours, I just close it. I don't care if I'm 30 pips in profit, 10 pips in profit, I don't have the patience. Right? But also, I trade a setup. I'm not a master trader. I'm a master trader at my setup. Right? Bruce Lee says it, right? I do not fear the man that has mastered 1,000 punches. I fear the man that has mastered 1 punch. Right? I'm going to show you this 1 punch. Show you how easy this 1 punch is. Right? And I only do this trainings in person, so you guys are very, very lucky. Right? So, basically, you ever see the double tops, double bottoms?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? Buy off support, sell off resistance.
Yes.
Does it work? Kind of, sort of?
Yeah.
Right? I'm going to show you something different, right? So the market, 2 minutes? All right, cool. So I'm going to speed this up, right? So basically what you're going to look for is a double top, a double bottom, and don't train off the double top, double bottom. You're going to let it break, right? So you're going to find support and resistance, right? And you're going to let it hit your support, hit your resistance, and break through, right? Then you're going to buy the retest, the continuation, right? The market moves in cycles. So basically from January to May, right, is very trendy, right? The past 6 months have been very reversals, right? Because if you're trying to buy off support, right, it's harder. You have to have more confirmation, right? So look for a double top, a failed double top, look for a failed double bottom, right? And I'm going to end it with this, right? IMO TV sessions, if you want to learn more, hop on my IMO TV sessions, right? They're doing another free week of my sessions or whatever. Sometime this week you're going to have to be a user with Gold Cup, all right, paid user, but I'm giving you the setup before it happens with Gold Cup. So not only do I fish for you, but I'm showing you how to fish on IML TV and giving you the setup, right? So it's double the value. Because when in the morning, my time, right, by the time that I get on at 8 a.m. Eastern, right, like 2 or 3 your time, right, the trade's already hit TP. Like, damn guys, sorry, you know? So I'm trying to give you the setup before it happens. That way you can learn and earn and get the setup as well, right? So hop on there, right? Combine that with Gold Cup, you'll make a lot of money. People are absolutely killing it, right? And I'm going to end with that. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for having me out here. Show gratitude. I'm going to go ahead and bring up an individual, right? Go ahead, come up here. And like I said, I appreciate you guys. You have an amazing leader here. And I appreciate you as well. Thank you.
One more applause for Luc.
Yeah! One applause for Ken.
I love the energy in this room. Sorry for being late. Jason's and Christopher Derrick's plane was delayed a bit, and that's why we ran here as fast as we got. And you have got amazing training from Ralph and also from Luc right now. And the next person stepping on this stage is the first IMM TV educator. Please make a big, big applause for the man, the myth, the legend himself, Mr. Christopher Derrick.
Awesome, how's everybody doing?
Good.
Why is it so cold here? Alright, so this is my first time in Estonia, so it's an absolute pleasure to be here in front of you guys today to give you guys this information. I was really thinking to myself when I was with Jason, we're going 30 days, 16 different countries. So we just got done with Lisbon, Portugal. Who here follows me on social media? Anybody or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
All right, so you guys saw how crazy Lisbon was, how crazy Spain was, and we have all these other countries. So I was thinking to myself, what can I do to give people the real training? Okay, so people could actually shift their mindset. How many of us ask this question all the time? In 2000, does everybody remember January 1st, 2018? Does everybody remembers that, right?
Yeah.
January 1st, 2018, which is last year.
Yeah.
And did you guys have different dreams, goals, and aspirations?
Yes.
And how many of us has surpassed everything that we wanted to accomplish? Just one. Okay. So I like to, break down people's psychological behaviors because the X factor isn't, the resources, isn't the tools, isn't the education. It's ourselves. And for a lot of us, we don't realize that there's certain things that's happening in our lives that don't allow us to really manifest success. Who here understands the law of attraction, the law of vibrations? Anybody? Okay. Now, is your life a replication of that? So what I want to do is be able to give you guys some tips, some advice that if you follow these things, things will start to shift. The one of the things that I don't like, honestly, I like it for a little bit, but who here likes to get, hyped up and get super excited? Right? Everybody does. Emotion traits, you know. So I like that, but the thing that I've realized is I've been a part of this industry since I was 17 years old, and I'm 27 now. I know I look super young. I'm Filipino, so I have good genetics. I'm probably like an 18-year-old kid. All right, but I've been in this industry for a long period of time, so I used to go to these, trainings. I used to go to these conventions, and I remembered how excited I used to get. I used to do just jumping up and down, super excited, but then 6 months later I was still broke. You know what I mean? So I was like, wait a minute, like there's something that has to change. And for a lot of us, if we just ask this one question, how many of us would be in a different position if we applied everything that we knew? Every single one of us, right? So we have this thing called cognitive dissonance. So there's some people that could do a little bit of work, like they take one step and everything happens for them, and someone else takes 100 steps and nothing happens. Has anyone experienced that before? Like you felt that you work super, super hard, you're on the charts 24/7, work, grind, you're doing these events, things, like you're just doing all this stuff, and then you're getting overwhelmed. And then you see someone else that's just like, oh, I just took a trade and made X amount, right? This one dude flipped this much to this much. How come I can't be in that position? Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I was like, what is the deciding factor? Now my story, I'm just going to go into for just 2 minutes. I was in the Army for 6.5 years, did 2 deployments, a single father. At that time, I realized I had to do something different. After my second deployment, lost a couple of friends, went through some heartbreaks. Rather than being a victim, I wanted to be an overcomer. Right? Rather than being a product of my circumstances, I wanted to make my circumstances my product. So I got into trading. I got into trading because my level of desperation was high. I had no choice. I didn't want to be statistic. Anyone here have kids that you know about? Right? So I had no choice. I had to do what I had to do to make sure I get to that level. And I was literally, I remember this, I got kicked out by my ex-girlfriend. Right? Because in order to pay for the subscription and to learn trading, I sold the TV. I sold the Xbox. Imagine this, okay? Imagine you're my girlfriend. Just kidding. The guys in here are like, what's going on? It's kind of weird. No, just imagine though. Right? So imagine you come home and you see like, all right, TV is gone, Xbox is gone, just all like everything that is just like the leisure activities is gone. I don't drink anymore. I don't go out. I just read books. I just go to the gym. So I got to a certain position where it's like, what are you doing? Like, where's the money? You sold everything. You sold the entertainment. Wow. I was like, just trust me on the vision. Like, trust me. I see people that make 5 figures, 6 figures, 7 figures monthly. Like, I could be in that position. I could be able to provide. Now she kicked me out because she said you can't deposit dreams to the bank account. Six months later, I hit 6 figures. She asked that question. You ever think about it still? I was like, nope. So what I'm saying though is I got kicked out, and then I found this. I was sleeping on my friend's floor. Now the reason why I'm giving you that scenario and that situation is because why the heck was some random Filipino kid sleeping on a floor picked to be the top educator for a platform? Makes no sense, right? And I was in Fort Hood, Texas, which is like 50,000 soldiers that are super negative. I've only been training for a little bit, but Chris Terry saw something within me. They said, I can see that you're going to be very successful in this because you actually care about people. Okay? Doesn't that take some type of supernatural manifestations to occur? It does, right? Or is it something that just happens to everybody? Does that happen to anybody? Does you get a knock on the door or a phone call saying you're going to be the top educator of a company? No, right? So, this is what I started to do. How would you guys feel if you guys were able to have the tools that are necessary, that we could take care of all this, mind, body, soul, that can manifest all these things to happen for you? So the topic for today is going to be reprogramming your mind's vibrations and frequencies. Now I wanted something different, okay? I wanted something so that way it's not about, it's all about how it makes you feel and what you do with that later on. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't you rather have a 6, 7 figure, 8, 9 figure earner say, this is what you do, and just do that, and you'll be successful? How many of us have been to, events where it's just super motivational? But then you have nothing to do to take that vision into reality. Does that make sense? So reprogram your mind's vibrations and frequencies. Who here feels that you focus on this exponentially? Like this is your main focus? Okay, anybody? Very few? Okay, I want to get to a certain point where the whole room just like raises their hand when I come back 90 days from now. Okay? Did they say 90 days from now?
Yep. Commit.
Oh man. All right, so the main thing is priming ourselves. We cannot manifest if we're not operating on the right frequencies. Okay? Priming ourselves. What that means is putting yourself in a position to be a magnet to attract success. Because I'm telling you guys right now, you could draw on charts all day, but if you're a negative person, if you don't take care of this stuff, you'll never have success. Who's been drawing on charts and just been failing over and over again? It's okay, because I've been in those positions. Who's experienced that? Like you're drawing, you study everything, to the point where your brain's just like fried. To the point where you can't even have conversations with people. And to the point where you're just like, is this for me? Should I just give up? Should I just quit? You know, when I lost $20,000 in 15 minutes, you think I wanted to quit? Of course I wanted to quit. I cried for like an hour. My roommate opened up the door, lights were all off, I was listening to some really like scary music. And I was just, he turns on the light, I was just sitting there just crying. I was like, stupid Forex, I'm never doing this ever. I'm gonna break my laptop. You know, it's freaking, it doesn't work. You know, I'm just gonna work till I'm 72 years old. Right? Because that's what everybody else does. An hour later, I was drawing on charts because it said if I lost 20,000 in 15 minutes, that means what? I can made it in 20,000 in 15 minutes. So it's about changing your mindset. So priming ourselves, we cannot manifest if we're not operating on the right frequencies. So the first thing that I want you guys to write down is biohacking. I don't care what you do with that word. Research it, do whatever it fits best for you. But I wanted to learn how to increase my energy levels so that way I stay in a happy place at all times. Right? It's very rare that you see me pissed off. You want to know why? Because I was super broke before. Like way broke. Like I'm talking about like, you invite me to go out to eat, I'm hoping that you're going to pay for my meal. Right? I sit there, yo, you want anything? I'm not hungry. But I'm staring at your food the whole time. And it's like, are you hungry? It's like, yeah, I'll take a bite. I've been in those situations. So I want to learn how to biohack so that way I can stay in a grateful state. Because when you're grateful, you'll manifest situations where you're grateful. Now, if you're complaining, you'll manifest more situations where you have to complain. So biohacking. So I focus on my daily rituals. What do you do in the morning and what do you do throughout the day and what do you do at night? It sounds super crazy, but research a book called, one of them is like Tools of the Titans, okay, by Timothy Ferriss, or Own Your Day, Own Your Life. And these are people that are high seven figures, you know, billionaires, tactics of people biohacking and having daily rituals throughout the day. Are you going to be that person that lets your day control you, or are you going to control your day? How many people feel that you've been put in a position to where you're just like, the day's just beating the crap out of you? You're just like, oh, job, oh, relationship, oh, family. You've been in those positions before, right?
Yes.
How would you feel that your whole day is controlled by you? It's a lot more peaceful, okay? So how you start your day, right, what you do throughout the day, and how you end your day is key. So what do you do when you wake up? Like, are you drinking water? You know, are you eating the right foods? Like, are you, you know, priming yourself where you're listening to high frequency music? Now, I love rap music. It gets me hyped up, especially when you want to make money. Okay? But the thing is, I stopped listening to it until I'm in the gym. Everything else is personal and spiritual development, high frequency music, worship music, bless you, right? Music that has no lyrics, so allows me to manifest. Like what I like the most is, honestly, I like trance music. I don't know if you guys like trance, but anybody like trance in here? No, I'm the only one that likes EDM music. You guys listen to it.
EDM is good.
EDM is good? I listen to that, right? So it allows me to visualize as if like I'm going through the things that I want to experience. Like I want to go to Bali, or I want to go to Greece, which is crazy because I'm going to Greece on this trip too. So you can manifest these things. Does that make sense?
Yes.
When you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing that you do? You check Instagram and you compare your life, and comparison is a thief of joy. So when you start to see other people that are having massive success, you automatically have self-doubt, you self-sabotage yourself, and you can't manifest crap throughout the entire day because you start the wrong way. But if you wake up in the morning and you do that and you focus on your health and you actually are able to put yourself in a place of gratitude, what I do is I go out to the lake that's by me. Okay, here, I'm going to go out to the snow. Yes. Play in the snow, just, you know, whatever's happy place. Well, there's the sauna. Sauna's a good place too. But I would go there and I visualize. You know, I read a couple scriptures, I visualize, and I focus. And I spend, anytime I have doubt, this is what I say. Okay? Who here has doubt? There's little words in the back of your head. Someone's like, you can't do it. You're stupid. You're not successful, right? There's no way. It's too late. Do you have those voices in your head, or is it am I just the crazy person?
Yes.
Yeah.
Everybody does?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Awesome. It's all about how you manage that. So what I do now is when I feel really doubtful, I'll stop out of nowhere. People think I'm really weird for doing this, but then my money keeps increasing, so whatever, I don't care, right? I stop and I said, supernatural manifestations are happening to me at all times. You don't even know. I said this, the last time I said this, and my friend freaked out, was I was on my way to a movie and I was having doubtful thoughts because I was being overwhelmed about this trip. Out of nowhere, I just looked at my friend and said, yo. And she's like, what? And I was like, supernatural occurrences are happening at all times. Like, I'm a 9-figure trader. Like, people can't even comprehend my withdrawals. Like, it just makes them like want to puke when they see it, right? I have 6- and 7-figure earners within my business at all times. That ticking time bombs that are already exploding. And high 6- and 7-figure earners are reaching out to me, whether they know that they are or whether that they are. And I'm saying this stuff because replace the time of complaining, right, with visualization. Does that make sense? It's going to be very hard for you guys to do this. You want to know why? How long does it take for a habit to form?
30 days.
21.
21 days. Everyone thinks 21 days. So I've been researching a lot of neuroscientists and the way that the brain works. And we have these things called neuropaths. And what happens is these neuropaths, based off culture and the way that you're raised, it becomes your habit and then it becomes a sense of identity. Makes sense? So if you're a person that complains, everybody knows you as a negative person that complains all the time. Oh no, so-and-so's walking in the room right now, right? It becomes a sense of your identity. So it takes 65 to 365 days for something to become long-term memory. Okay? 65 to 365 days. The reason why I say this in terms of when it comes to fitness is new year, new me. When we go to the gym, if they don't last the 65 days, usually they give up, right? Same with business. Anybody that within 65 days, if they haven't committed for more than 65 days, they usually quit. Same thing when it comes to trading. If they haven't been past the 65-day mark, they start to have this level of commitment. And here's the crazy thing. If you start to have doubtful thoughts about the way that you're thinking, it is a sign that those thoughts are actually working. Because it's challenging old behaviors. Now, if it's a place of comfortability, that means you're not challenging crap. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Is anybody getting value from this?
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Same. Oh, everyone's just like super focused.
Super.
Nah, just kidding. Alright? So, all sectors. So focus on daily rituals, how you wake up, place of gratitude, don't even check your phone. Comparison is a thief of joy. The only person you should be comparing yourself to is yourself. You don't think that before I used to look at Jason Brown, I think about this, we were launched at the same time. August 16th, 2016, the last blood moon. I don't know if you guys are into the blood moon stuff, but it was the last blood moon, the last eclipse. For all those people that are the weird astrological people that it's dumb, it's been up for thousands of years. Right? It's real. Right? So what's crazy is I see Jason go to being a multimillionaire. And he's like my best friend and my brother. I see Matt Rosa doing this. Right? You don't think at one point I was like,
Yep.
right? But then I changed my mindset and I celebrated it. I said, wow, my best friend, my brother, has got to this position, and I know I could do it, so I'm just going to stick to him like glue and learn from him because I am in this circle, right? So sometimes Creator, God, Allah, whatever you believe in will hide all your blessings where your pride and ego is. So strip yourself of the pride and ego, have a state of humility, and watch what the doors open, okay? So, does it make sense? Put blinders on and only compete against yourself, and focus on your daily rituals throughout your day. On the end of the day, this is what I like to do. How many of us have anxiety? Okay, anxiety means you put energy to hypothetical situations that haven't happened yet. Oh my goodness, tomorrow is just a big day. Tomorrow's not even here yet. You know what I mean? Like, just chill, like, relax, be present, be mindful. That's how you have peace. Okay? So I'm saying though, is if you have anxiety and you always think about the end result and how it's not there yet, this is what you do. Every single night, I made a rule where I go to the lake or I go to the fire pit, and I review what I did for the day. So you can celebrate the small victories. If I said, okay, for today, I did spiritual and personal development for 2 hours, and I wrote notes down. I gave up value all through social media. I did an intro to trading overview. I did team calls, right? I did my deck of cards. I built relationships with 50, yes, Chairman 25 is personally recruiting 52 people a day. Write that down, right? Because you can't get too big for the small things. So if I'm doing this stuff, and I go to the gym for an hour and a half, and I'm doing sauna, and I'm eating healthy, do you think that I feel bad about like my progression? No, because I sit there and I see it, and I'm like, wow, I want to be successful. because you're celebrating a small victory. Who here would feel that would help them a lot? I bet you if you start writing that stuff down, you would never have anxiety ever again. Because in the end, if you didn't do anything, you could say, I didn't do shit. And then you could be that person that's like, oh, I hold myself accountable. And you guys know I've been working super hard. People didn't know that my daughter, my youngest daughter, okay, was in the hospital. She was 2 years old. She's 2 years old right now. She's in the hospital. She's good now, but she's still kind of fragile. All my money is going towards that. If I wasn't trading, if I wasn't marketing, do you think I would have been able to afford for her to be alive right now? So it's not just about the surface stuff. It's about the deep stuff. Think about someone's life that could possibly change this. And every single person is going through some type of pain. How many of us have been through heartbreaks? Right? Pain. Okay? I guess because come on, guys. I was an interrogator in the army for 6.5 years, so I know when the arms are crossed and people act tough, you're really vulnerable. You're just putting up this facade and this image. Yes, I said it. Okay? So, we've been through pain. We've been through setbacks. We've been going to work, we've been going to school, wondering what's next. That means every single other human being is going through the same thing. And if you build this with a way where it's training based and offering a skill set and shifting and changing someone's life, it changes everything. So now I change it to the whole fact of like, oh, I'm not doing this for myself, I'm doing this for others. Because how many people's lives have been changed from just knowing this information? Just the fact that you're in this room alone, having an open door to these charts, don't you feel that you're like 1,000 steps ahead from everybody else that's out in these streets that's working out here?
Yes.
That's crazy. That's crazy. So take advantage of the opportunity, because if not, you'll just slip on by. Okay, don't be like those people that I first started out with, and we started this whole journey together, and now they're working 2-3 jobs, doing door-to-door One who's really depressed because now he's working for his wife. It's like, it's really sad. Like, it's just like, it's just, they just didn't want it because people fear success and they fear failure. Any more questions? We're good.
Any questions?
Any questions at all whatsoever? And get deep, right, for real. Any questions? If you have any setbacks, I'm talking about anything that you've been, dealing with emotionally, anything you've been dealing with doubt, anything like questions on how to handle certain things. Now's the time, right? And don't care about what other people are going to think about you. That's another thing too. You take that away, write that down. I do not care about what other people think about me. I need to stop caring about the validation of other people that don't even care about themselves. This is true. So we sit there, we're over here, we're like, oh my goodness, what are they going to think of me? They're still working 2-3 jobs, who cares? And at the end of the day, why does someone else's opinion matter? And if someone else's opinion and thoughts is going to be the reason why you don't do something, that sucks. That truly sucks. That means you have one hater be the reason why you're still in debt. You have one hater, the reason why you'll never be able to see the whole world. Right? Even if your haters are freaking parents, right? You have 2 haters that are the reason why you'll never be able to see what your life could be. I'm not going to do that. My family didn't understand it, and then I invited them to watch me speak in front of all these people. So that way their mind could stretch. Just be that person that does it, put the blinders on, and show your family there's a different way. You can be the first person to do that. So any questions? Anyone having any type of question at all whatsoever? If not, everyone's perfect in this room. That means every single person should be a 6-figure trader in 6 months, a 6-figure earner from marketing. Nothing.
You are coming back in 90 days?
I won't come back in 90 days. Nothing. Okay. All right. What do you want? No, I'm just kidding. All right, and that's it. That's it for me. I appreciate you guys' time. If you guys are like more secretive, if you guys want to ask me questions, I'll be here. So, jeez.
Crazy training from Derrick. I don't even know what to say.
Nuggets.
Nuggets. But because we don't have much time and you want to gather as much information as possible, I'm going to keep it short. And our next person to present, train you, is some people in the front row especially call him our godfather. So everybody, welcome to the stage, Jerome Clarah.
doing?
Good.
He said Godfather. I was like, oh shoot. Don't say that. Don't say that. So, who's getting a lot of information today? Put your hands up real quick.
Yeah.
Okay. I think there's so much value that's been dropped so far in this room right now. Like I've even taken notes myself. You know, I would say you're never too big to, you know, do the little things, or you'll be too little to receive the big things. So, you know, I want every single one of you guys to put your hands together for everyone that came up here so far today. I want every single one of you guys to put your hands together for yourself for actually being here. There's so many reasons why a lot of you guys wouldn't have been here. You know what I mean? Can we all agree there's people that could have been here today that were told this was going on and they're not here today? Yeah. You know, you have friends and people. Do you guys believe if they were here today, they would have got some value, some knowledge that they could have taken and applied and got the results they're looking for?
Yeah.
You know, so I always believe like doing this, you know, Chris was just kind of talking about it as well, you know, community, doing this with a group of people. Guys, this is the main reason I'm in IML. You know what I mean? I plugged into Forex. I got started and I wasn't even looking to be a marketer. You know what I mean? You guys all know me. Some of you guys know me. You know, I'm a marketer. That's what I do. But, you know, I trade aggressively. Before I came into this, I was trading aggressively. I was making good money trading. But I didn't even want anything to do with network marketing, as crazy as that sounds. Okay? And the reason why I say that was I saw the industry. I was in the industry since I was like 19. And I saw that the only way people can make money was to sell a product, sell a service, or recruit people to do the same thing, right? And I just didn't feel like comfortable. What was that? Someone shooting me in the back. Take it easy. So for me, it was just like I didn't want to be that person that was dragging people into something that they had to go out there and sell people and pitch people. You guys know what I'm talking about? So when I saw what iMarkets Live had put together, I got super hyped up. Main reason being was somebody could come into this company, not sell a service, you know, not recruit people and be able to make an extra income, you know, just using the services, right? You know, Chris was going through technicals, you know, Luke was going through Gold Cup and T Cup, you know, Ralph was going through technicals. It's like, those are the keys that you guys need to get the results trading. Like I always tell people, trading is not difficult. You know, like I'm the person that came up here to show you guys, like, if I can do this, any of you guys can do this, because I'm not the craziest speaker, you know, I'm not the craziest, like, you know what I mean? But it's just like, I was somebody that just followed a system. Makes sense? System stands for save yourself time, energy, and money. Okay? So if you see that there's a system working for people, you guys know what Blue's Clues is? You guys know what Blue's Clues is?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, everyone's young in the room.
I do.
You know what Blue's Clues is? Yep. Just follow the clues. You know, like success. Google, just write that down, Blue's Clues. Okay, I want you guys to check that out. That's funny. You guys are always so young. You know, but it's like, you gotta follow the clues. It's like successful people, it's like if you do what they do, you get what they get every single time. So it's like, when you guys see and hear other successful people breaking down what they're doing or how they became successful, take notes, you know, ask the questions, you know, speak to them as much as you can. You know, you guys have the opportunity to ask questions publicly, but, you know, we're all gonna be hanging out a little bit after, so it's like, get all your questions answered. You know, because that's the only reason why I am where I am today. You know, just like I was talking about, got started and just wanted to learn a skill set. I didn't know what any of these charts meant years ago, okay? But now today we can look at the charts and it's just like Chris said, within like minutes, it's like tons of charts are marked up and we know which trades we're getting in and out of. Why? Because it's just technicals. You know, he was breaking down, somebody was talking about indicators. I don't even use indicators. Confuse them. You know what I mean? Got clouds going on and all this other stuff. It's too much. It's too much. You know, I understand a house, ceiling, floor, breakout, retest. We need to make sure the floor is strong enough. Okay, cool. We're going back up. You know, it's like I understand this stuff. Why? Because I plugged in and I asked the question. You know, so those things are very key. But what I want to do is I'm going to go through some like key things. And you know, I always say like this industry isn't just about someone left with like 2 phones. This guy. But it's like this industry has taught me so much about just life. Okay, life, business, people. So it's just like any sort of skills or like tips that people give you. I always say take notes, and you know, see where you can develop. You know, whether it's in your life. Okay, so I'm gonna give you guys a couple different tips. Okay, and I'm gonna go pretty quick because I don't want to take up too much time. And you guys, anyone that knows me personally, I could talk forever. So Hold on. Let me get a time. Yo, I got 10 minutes, okay? At 9:15, somebody stop me. And if I want to keep going, we're fighting. So, I'm going to give you guys real quick 10 key things that help me become super successful. So I'm going to give you guys a couple different things, okay? So 10 key steps, okay? The first thing was operate with integrity, okay? Operate with integrity, okay? You always have to tell yourself the truth, or you always have to tell other people the truth. You know, it's just like, if you say, like I would say, the only thing that you guys have in life is your word. Make sense? So if you say you're going to do something, do it. You know, you say you're going to hold a training. You say you're going to show up to an event. You say you're going to do something, do it. You know, Chris and Jason had almost every reason in the world to not show up. You know, on our way here, there were so many different things that almost stopped us from being here today. You know what I mean? But it's like we will do whatever it takes to make sure that we can follow our word. You know, it's like operate with integrity. Make sense? And that's just, again, all these different things can help you with just life in general. So operate with integrity is the first step, okay? The second step is become very social, okay? Become very social. Before I came into network marketing, this industry as a whole, I was not a social person. I was very shy, okay? I played sports. Who plays sports in the room? Wow, athletes. Check this out. I used to play basketball, college basketball, okay? Woo. We'll find a gym tomorrow. Don't do that. Just let go. It's like, for me, it was like, the only time I would get like loud and start getting energetic is if I was on a court, you know, because I love the arena and stuff like that. But it's just like, when they said, you gotta talk to people, I was like, hell no. I remember my mentor, he said, Jerome, you're gonna go up and say the intro, you're gonna open up the event and tell everyone what's up. I said, okay, I got you. The event started, I was in the washroom. I was like, you're not gonna get me today. But check this out, you gotta become very social, okay? You just gotta talk to people, build relationships. This whole industry, like, check this out, network, marketing. So it's network before the marketing. You just gotta build a lot of relationships because it's your network, okay? It's like, imagine you guys are like real estate agents. Okay, check this out. You guys are real estate agents or car salespeople. And let's just say that's your career, okay? Let's say that's your career. Imagine if all your friends and family members went out there and bought cars and real estate properties by other people and it wasn't you. How would that make you guys feel? Not so good. You know what I mean? Furious. I like all of that. I miss you, bro. So it's just like, it would make you feel furious. So it's just like, when it comes to this business, it's like there's going to be people that want to invest their money. There's going to be people that want to make an extra source of income. They're going to want to know what Forex is. But the last thing you want is someone that's close to you to reach out to someone like Christopher Derrick, someone like Ralph or Gabriel or someone else in a whole other side of the world when they could have just asked you. Make sense? So you got to become very social. Let people know what it is that you're doing. I always tell people when it comes to this industry, I'm not a salesy type of person. I'm going to tell you where I'm going. And it's either you're going to be like, you know what, I'm coming with you, or it's like, okay, good luck. Make sense? I'm just sharing information with people. I'm going to let you know where I'm going. That's it. And if you want to come, let's go. If not, cool. I'm going with or without you. It's either the steamroller or you're the pavement. Pick one. Make sense? So become very social. Let people know what it is you're doing and speak with vision. Speak on where you're going with this thing. Because when I started, I was a broke college student. Raise your hands if you're a broke college student. You couldn't relate with me back then. Okay? I didn't have money to do anything. Okay? But for me, it was just like, you know what? No one would respect what it was that I was doing, but I just spoke on where I was going. I said, you know what? I'm gonna retire my mother. You know, I'm gonna be able to live the lifestyle I want. I'm gonna travel to places I've never heard of, like Estonia. You know, so it's just like I spoke that stuff into existence because now we're doing these types of things. I never expected to do it. You know, so become very social because now today it's like I can't even get back to people because of how many messages hit me every single day. You will go from being the hunter to the hunted. Who would love to just focus on trading and to show stuff like this? Just go on social media and post something like this, and 20 people message you saying, how do I get started? Who would love that?
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I love how everyone's hand went up, but when Chris said, who's marketing this? I saw like 2 people. But everyone would love that. You gotta just become social. That's all I do. I knew I didn't want to go out there and pitch empathy. So what did I do? I just became social. I stayed consistent. And what did people do? They started to reach out to me. Perfect example. If I was not a social person, none of you guys would be here right now. You know how crazy that is? Take it how crazy that is. How did I meet Kenneth? Social media. Literally, social media messaged me and he said, hey, you know what? I'm investing in Forex and I want to know how to get more results. It's not going the way that I want it to. He said, I want to make an extra $600. Could you believe that? He said, I want to make an extra $600. I was like, bro, it's going to be easy. All right, cool, I'll help you. And now today, this is what's going on. A lot of people are doing that, so I love it. So become social is very key. Okay, the next thing is you got to be willing to pay the price. Okay, you have to be willing to pay the price. Guys, greatness is not for sale. It's not like you can just pay up and just, boom, you're going to get greatness. You're going to get everything that you wanted. It's like you got to be willing to pay the price. Me being an athlete, I remember showing up to basketball trainings or the games, and there was always one or two players that would be there hours before. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Were you guys the athletes, or you just watching it? And I was like, yeah, I used to show up later than that guy was there, she was there. Check this out. What were they doing though? They were paying the price. Because, for instance, basketball, okay? Does anyone know who Corey Joseph is and Tristan Thompson?
Yeah.
1991 was when they were born. These are two people I used to play basketball with. They're in the NBA, I'm not. Why? I might get a tear. I'm just kidding. But check this out. They were paying the price. Every single time they were paying the price. They were showing up early. They were making things happen. So it's like Chris was talking about the trading industry. He said scroll all the way back and just mark up the charts. What is that doing? You're paying the price. Develop your skills, get better every single. It's like ask yourself, what am I doing today that's going to help me get forward with what it is that I want to do? You got to ask yourself that every single day. What am I doing today that's going to help me get farther ahead and closer to where I want to be with this thing? Make sense? And then start asking yourself after that, is what I'm about to do right now going to help me get closer to my goals and stuff? Because I remember there was times, I'm a party animal, people know me, okay? We used to party a lot, but it's like, I started to ask myself, is this party gonna help me get closer to where I wanna go? Can I tell myself, I'm not gonna do that today, maybe I'll do it next week, but tonight I'm actually gonna draw up on some charts. I'm gonna mark up the chart. You know, I'm gonna answer some of my DMs on Instagram and answer some people back and build some relationships, okay? So you gotta be willing to pay the price, okay? The fourth thing is you gotta control your mind, okay? Keep this in mind right here, okay? So number 4 is control your mind, okay? Your mind is an open field and you have the ability to plant as many seeds as you want, whether they're negative or positive, okay? Negative or positive. You have the ability to do so, okay? So always remember, you wanna protect your energy, okay? Always wanna protect your energy because where attention goes, energy flows. Guys, earlier, it was like, I'll just say the story. Like, we went to go to the airport, okay? And it was like, what did they say to us? They were like, we're early, okay? And we get to the check-in, and they're like, you didn't check in yet. And I'm like, well, isn't that what we're doing right now? You know, we just give the passport and you check us in. And they're like, no, you gotta do it online. And I said, okay, didn't know that. All right, so I just backed up over here. There's no one in the line. And then this other guy came and started bothering me, telling me, you gotta go over there. I was like, oh, they just told me to check in. And he's giving me a hard time about it. How easy would it have been for me to get frustrated and just snap on this guy? Like, who would have snapped? He's like, I don't know. You know what I mean? Already, I was like, leave me alone. But it's like, I calmed down. You know what I mean? I said, you know what? Let me move away from this scenario. Let me just try and get this check-in going. Okay? A little bit after, they said, you know what? Because you're checking in here and you didn't check in advance, you got to pay $100 to check in. So I have to pay to check on to the flight that I already paid for? Paid for it. Okay? Then we started going through the security, and I could have, man, this guy did this, man, they charged me this. We get to security, and they told me to take out my shoes and all that stuff. I'm like, oh, they're doing the most right now, okay. And then this guy started like patting me down or whatever, and what did I do? Just, And you know what's crazy? What did he do? He literally did the same exact thing. Changed the energy for the whole rest of the day, guys. So always remember, you have the ability to plant whatever seeds you want. Okay, it's contagious. It's literally contagious. Stop. So check this out. The next thing is acquiring skills. I'm just flying right now. I don't see it, so I'm excited. Okay? The next thing is acquiring skills. Guys, in this industry, there's only a couple skills that you have to master or that you want to master to get to that next level. If you guys want to get to that level where Christopher Derrick is, make some noise. Woo! These are the skills that he mastered. Okay? The first one is edification. Okay? The first one is edification. This is where you speak highly about somebody else. Okay? Take it off of you and put it on somebody else. Okay? The reason why I was really good when I started was not because I was a crazy presenter, not because I dressed sharp or whatever. It was just, I just got really good at saying, hey, what's going on, bro? What's your name? Kevin?
Yeah.
Bro, it's amazing to meet you. You wanted to get into Forex or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Okay, bro. I'm going to see if I can pull some strings. I don't even know if I can make it happen. You get me?
Okay.
But there's this guy, his name is Ralph. He lives in Miami. I'm going to see if I can set up a call. I know he's like really busy and stuff, but if I can pull some strings and make it happen, guys, he's really successful. Okay? Would you be down?
Probably, yeah.
Probably?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So let me see what I can do. I'm not going to promise you anything. He might say no. Okay? But let me see what I can do.
Okay.
All right, got you, bro.
Thanks.
And literally, I would just hit him up and say, hey, what are you doing Tuesday at 5 o'clock?
Training.
Training?
Okay.
What are you doing Wednesday at 9 p.m.? Should we free?
Yeah, probably.
Okay, dope. I pulled the strings, made it happen, dude. I got you. You down? Boom, I'm going to connect you.
Wow.
I wasn't presenting the information. We wasn't talking about Forex. I said, you know what? I'm going to introduce you to somebody else. And he got excited to just talk to him. Edification. You get really good at putting someone in front of somebody else, game over. But if you get good at teaching that, it's over. Your business will take off. Okay? So acquiring the skill of edification. The next thing is inviting. Okay? And edification leads to invite. Okay? Mastering the invite. The 4-step invite, for those that may not know, is, be in a rush, clear the schedule, give value, take it away. Okay, I said it again. Be in a rush, clear the schedule, give value, take it away. Okay, I'm not going to go in depth on it, but if you guys want to have a resource to go back to, write down this website. Okay, freeminds.live. Okay, freeminds.live. And on that site, there's a menu, and there's something called Blueprint. If you click on that blueprint there, it'll give you a crazy blueprint on how to, whether it's on the trading plan or the marketing plan, okay? And Christopher Derrick's videos on the marketing checklist and the trading checklist is in there. He actually speaks on the perfect invite, okay? So you guys want to definitely dive into that. There's a password on it, actually. Who wants the password?
Yeah.
You guys don't sound like you want it. Who wants the password?
Yeah.
Password. So check this out. This is what the password is. Level up. Capital L, capital U. Level up. Okay? Level up, capital L, capital U. Okay, that'll break down, that's where you can go and see the perfect invite. The next skill that you can master is presenting the information. Okay, presenting the information. Okay, breaking down, how the services work, what Forex is, who's the company, who's on this line. The best way to become a great presenter is what? Use the services. Be a product of the product. Make sense? Imagine me trying to talk to you guys about Forex, and I don't know how to talk about Forex. That'd be crazy, right? We've seen that Soldier Boy meme that's going around. It's like, Jerome, can you drop on some charts? Charts? Never seen that one? Makes sense? You gotta be a product of the product. Okay, that's how you're gonna get very good at presenting information. And then the next step is launching, helping somebody get started effectively. That's all the launch is, help somebody get started effectively. Help them set up the services. Okay, help them know how to use them, how to access them. Okay, just follow up with them, make sure they're catching the hand of things, asking them questions, making sure that all the questions get answered. Okay, and then promoting events. Guys, something like this is an event. Guys, I want you guys to stand up really quickly because I know you guys have been sitting down for a while. Stand up, put your hands together for Jason Brown.
I'm not that famous, so I don't do all that. Alright, so the first thing I gotta do is apologize for what I'm wearing right now. Okay, because when we got to the airport, my bag was missing. All right, so I don't currently have any clothes, just what I was wearing. So if I look like I'm coming to deliver mail to your house or something, now you know, okay? Second off, I'm excited. You know, I've traveled, I've been to 35 countries over the past 2 years, traveling and building iMarkets Live. And I don't get to say very often that it's my first time coming to a certain country. But it is my first time coming to Estonia. So I get to now say I've been to 37 countries instead of 35. Because we went to Finland for like 2 minutes. So that kind of counts. But look, I'm really excited. I know we don't have a lot of time. I don't want to do a lot of backstory and stuff like that. A lot of you guys are familiar with who I am. So, you know, that's the good thing. We can save some time. But before, look, you guys are in the presence of some really great people. You know, I'm grateful to be here, and this isn't going to be my second or third, this isn't going to be my last time. All right, I'm going to come back every time I come to Europe. You guys got that commitment for me. But there are some people here that you may only see once or twice every couple years, right? So these guys paid all their own money to come out. Right? Everything that we do is our own investment. We don't get paid by the company to come do this. We do this because we want to. Chris, Derrick, and I are living out of a suitcase for 30 days, 17 countries. I mean, we barely sleep. We time crunch. We, you know, figure out. I was just telling Ken we're trying to plan out tomorrow and just crunch time to go to the gym, time to eat, you know, and live. So, you know, let's give a round of applause for all the guys, Ralph, Jerome, Luc. I know these guys went through a lot of different things. How many of you here are taking like really good notes? Okay, that's good. Because what I need you guys to understand is that the reason you're learning this information is not just to know it. Okay? I've traveled the world, I've trained tens of thousands of entrepreneurs and people that just want to be successful. And one of the first things I always talk about is the fact that, look, you're not just retaining information to know more. Right? Some people will sit in a whole training like this for 4 or 5 hours and write down notes just so they don't get judged by the people next to them saying, why are you not taking notes? Right? I want to explain to you guys the value of actually learning and understanding at a conscious level the information that you're getting and the information that I'm going to share with you. Because going through this journey and building a business and building a reputation and becoming an influencer, that's really the goal. My goal is to get all of you to the point where you're an influencer. Think about that. Write down the word influencer. Okay? That's really the goal. My goal is to help you guys become influential in all the different areas of your life. Not just in the business, because the business is here, but the business is not you. Does that make sense? It doesn't define you. iMarkets Live doesn't define me, but it's a big part of my life. But I'm influential in other areas. So the information that I teach you guys is also there so that you can teach other people, right? So you have to start adopting the mindset that you have to become the mentor as well. Or a lot of you guys look up to Kenneth or some of the other leaders in the room for a specific reason. It's because when they say, hey, look, we're going this way, they're confident in that direction. Now, as a leader, you guys got to understand that sometimes that confidence is based off of vision. Right? A lot of you guys have a vision, well, all of you guys, not a lot, all, including me and including all these leaders here, we had a vision before we ever had results. That's life. Before you ever hit Platinum 150, or get your 2 and free, or go Platinum 600, or go Chairman 10, you have to have the vision. And you really have to buy the vision. Because, you know, I was in Slovenia about 2 years ago at this point. And there was a group, maybe 13, 14 people. Okay, so I was teaching, and they were kind of in like a half circle. And I went around the room and I said, look, what are your goals? 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 Everybody told me their goal. And I asked a little more specific, like, by this date, what's your goal? And they all told me their answer. And as I'm asking them, I'm thinking to myself, this is way too easy for them. Like, they're all answering this question like, so I'm like, okay, I see the problem. So I'm like, okay, Does your goal intimidate you? Does it intimidate you? Does it intimidate you? And only one person said yes. One person out of 14 had a goal that intimidated them. See, that's really the problem. You see this massive divide, right, with success. We know that only 3 to 5% of people achieve at a high level, right? Earn at a high level, have wealth at a high level. 3 to 5%. Why? We got to start thinking about why and not just think, oh, because I wasn't born into money. Oh, because I was born in Estonia and the average income is $1,000, so I can never become successful. Oh, it's always cold here, so I don't have opportunities. Like, people will, see, you're all laughing because there are people, I already know, that make those excuses as to why they can't achieve. For sure. And some of them may be your best friends and your family. And we sometimes have to understand that those blockades around us are sometimes going to be really, really, really close. Right? When I first started, my mom and dad, my mom's always supportive, but my dad was like, my dad wasn't unsupportive, but you could tell he just wasn't on board, And he said to me one day, we got in an argument about, as I had to move back in with my parents. So I'm going after network marketing for 2 years. And I was doing my thing, I was enrolling people, recruiting people, just putting in that foundation of work, doing personal development, all this stuff. And my dad says to me, he goes, one day he just got mad. He's like, you're living back at home with me and your mother. You're 25 years old. He's like, when are you going to realize that this thing that you're a part of, this thing, is just not going to work? He's like, you should just try something else. And I said, look, I want to ask you a question. So you got to be respectful. And then you also got to know how to play your chess moves, right? So I said, let me ask you a question. I said, have you ever done any type of direct sales business? Yeah. Okay. Must have missed that part of the story. What did you do? Oh, I sold fire extinguishers. That doesn't matter. I'm like, look, Pops, with all the respect in the world, can you change somebody's life selling a fire extinguisher? Can you ignite someone's passion selling a fire? Guys, imagine I was selling you fire extinguisher right now. You'd be home. You wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't even show up. Does that make sense? And so when I explained to him that there's a difference between his experience and my experience, right? His journey and my journey, his vehicle and my vehicle, he was okay with it. Right now, my parents come to all the IML events. They love it. Right? I brought my parents to a convention. They were crying because they saw real people getting real results. So you guys got to understand that a lot of this journey in the beginning, especially because Estonia is a brand new market, you're going to have a lot of people that are jealous. You're going to have a lot of people that don't understand. And you're going to have a lot of people that think they know everything. And yes, I saw the newspaper.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you guys, that is always going to happen. Because here's how success works. Okay? You have people that have courage. Right? How many people know about what happened with African Americans in the United States? No? Yes? Martin Luther King? You guys heard Martin Luther King, right? Okay. So there's this massive separation between two different races in the United States. White people did not like black people did not like white people. And one guy was like, you know what? This is my dream, and I'm going to change this. And he changed the entire course, the entire course of history by one decision. And a lot of people opposed it. A lot of people were violent. A lot of people put him in the newspaper. And he died as a legend. Does that make sense to you? So when I started this, the people around me were like, dude, that isn't going to work. All my friends from college, bro, you're in a pyramid scheme. Bro, why are you selling mangosteen? Bro, why are you trying to get a car? Bro, why are you doing this? Why are you doing that? And my question to them is, bro, unless you're paying my bills, why are you asking me those questions?
Facts.
It's not being like arrogant or anything like that. It's just the truth. Because look, I don't ever judge anyone based on their goals and dreams. If any one of you guys did not want to be here tonight, I would not judge you for that. If you wanted to go sell protein, I would not judge you for that. Because everybody's vision, everybody's perception of success is just a little bit different. But the number one thing that you guys got to understand is that you cannot let somebody else scare you out of attacking your dream. Because a lot of the times, it's just noise. And so, I show my parents the plan, they come to convention, now they're supporters. That's the way things work. In the beginning, people sit on the sideline. They're intimidated. You guys become influencers, and guess what happens? You guys do less defending. Now's not the time to get defensive. Now's the time to work harder, so we can show people what we're doing. Right? Does anybody in this room feel like they're being taken advantage of, or they don't have an opportunity? Of course not. Why would you be here? You all made the decision. It's a volunteer army. Like, Kenneth didn't go to your house with a shotgun like, hey, sign up. Well, he might have to a few people up there. But we make that decision because we see something bigger. Well, guess what, guys? The other thing that we can't do is we can't deny where the world is going. Okay, you can't deny that. Everybody in this room has multiple smart devices. Actually, most of your grandparents have smartphones now, right? How many people's grandma or grandpa has a smartphone? Android, Apple. Well, look. In the U.S., it's a lot, and almost half the room raised their hand. That's pretty strong. Okay, because now Europe is usually a little bit behind. Like the trends take a little bit longer.
True.
So I actually like that answer. Guys, the world is changing, and it becomes at some point undeniable that we don't pay attention to billboards anymore, right? We don't read magazines anymore. We're on where? Where are you guys most of the time?
Social media.
Social media. And guess what's happening in social media? Everything's digital, right? Same as iMarkets Live. iMarkets Live is an educational platform that's giving you access to websites and applications on your phone. No investments, nothing. It's clean. So you guys got to understand that you are in a position to win big. And just keep the blinders on and stay focused, because that's what's really important. Look at the Bible. Look at Jesus, right? Jesus did network marketing. He got his first 12. The dude, he smashes Platinum 600 right away. And now, he's like Chairman 5 million. Think about that. He said, look, now back to the series, because it actually is true. But think about the message. He said, hey, this is what I believe in. These are my principles. These are the things that I stand behind. And the people who believe those things went shoulder to shoulder. People opposed, but it's the same thing as that Martin Luther King example, right? At the end of the day, who has created bigger influence? The good energy, right? The good message. And some people may not agree with everything, and that's fine. Everybody's entitled to their own beliefs. But at the end of the day, a lot of the big religious structures are all stemmed off the same principles, right? The same ethics, the same thought process. And so creating influence is just about really believing in the direction that you're going. That's the point that I'm trying to make to you guys. See, when I believed, it helped other people believe. And when I became more consistent, when I became more confident, when I became more strong in the direction that I was going, guess what else started happening? People were winning. The theory was being proven over and over and over again. We have 150 plus, now it's probably like 170 chairmen in our team. But when Matt and I started, we were the only chairman in IML at one point. But our vision, right, when we sat down with guys like Alex Morton and said, hey, this is where we're at right now. And you're used to working with $1 billion company. You're used to working with big companies. And right now, we're a little baby company. We have 1,000 people. But this is where we're going. Alex was like, I'm going to do this because I trust you. Alex joined iMarkets Live because of me and my direction. Guys, I was making like $5,000 a month. And Alex had already made millions of dollars. And he said, I'm going to follow you. So nobody in the world can ever tell me, oh, Jason, I'm not successful. That's why people don't want to join me yet. Come on. Really? No. Nobody wants to join you yet because you haven't really made that decision. That's what it comes down to. Write down the word decision. A lot of people get trapped in a place where they can't make a decision because they're trying to validate all the noise from the outside. right? They're still trying to validate their older brother, older sister who's like, dude, why did you go to that meeting tonight? Right? They're still trying to validate the parents and all the public opinion and all the hate and all the negativity that also comes into your life, right? Sometimes you get excited, you leave a meeting and then your tire's flat when you get outside. Or you leave a meeting and something bad happens in your life. But when you make that decision, right? And I always say the decision is when your feet are concrete, right? When you're like, no matter what, I'm doing this. And sometimes you have to burn all the ships, right? So there's a story that I always go back to, right? And there's a general who had like thousands of ships. And there's more specifics to this story. Maybe Jerome talked about it. I know he talks about it a lot. But I'm going to tell you guys the theory, okay? So this general takes all these ships and all these soldiers to battle. And when they get to the beach, they burn all the ships. And they're like, yo, what are you doing? Like, that's our way out. And he's like, no, you don't get it. He's like, now we have no way out, which means we have to go forward and win. He made a decision. I heard on a call the other night, one of the up-and-coming leaders in IML dropped a nugget that inspired me. I was like, all right. He said, a lot of people are building this business because they're hungry. Okay? A lot of people are building the business because they're hungry. Because they want to make more money. They want to provide for their family. How many are doing this because of their family? Okay? That's a majority of people's reason why. He said, but the problem is that a lot of people are just hungry. You're not starving. It's a difference. There's a difference between being hungry and starving. All right? And you guys know that feeling. Hungry is like, hey, I have a craving, I want to go eat. Starving is like, yo, I need to eat right now. And then you start to get hungry. So you have to get angry about your success. You have to burn all the ships. When I had my big breakthroughs, is when I was $25,000 in credit card debt. 25 years old, $25,000 in credit card debt. 35,000, or more than that, 45,000 in student loan debt. That's this brilliant idea in America. Give money to kids that don't really know much, that they can't pay back because the jobs don't exist, and we'll just give them a piece of paper and say good luck. That's college in America, in a nutshell. So I have $70,000 of debt. And I said, you know what? I need to change. I need to make a decision. Because when you make a decision, the universe will reward that decision. And I promise you guys, as soon as you really make that decision, you're gonna see people start coming out of the woodwork. Hey, so what was that thing you told me about that I wasn't listening to 3 or 4 months ago that it was ignoring? I moved everything that I could fit in my 4-door car, and I drove 1,200 miles from where my parents lived down to Miami. I had no job. I had about $1,500 to my name, and I had to pay rent. So I really only had about $1,000. No job. But I burned my ships. I said, you know what? In order for me to really have breakthroughs, I need to get out of this environment. I need to get out of my comfort zone. I need to bury everything that I've ever done, because when my back's against the wall is when I'm focused. When my back's against the wall is when I'm better. Does that make sense to you guys?
Yep.
So I'm not telling you to go leave your parents' house. Don't do anything irrational. Don't do anything that's not smart, okay? I was calculating because I believed in myself. But what I'm telling you guys is you have to take a conscious analysis of the things that are holding you back before you can become successful. Make a list when you go home tonight. Meditate. Get in a place where you have no distractions. Your phone's on airplane mode, your phone's off. Your computer's off, your TV's off. Maybe you put on a little music, but then I would turn that off after you get in the right mood, right? You want good energy when you're doing this. And then I want you guys to really think about the obstacles, right? Maybe you make a list. Maybe you draw a line down the center of the paper. And on the left side, you put obstacles, right? What are the obstacles? What are the things in my way? What are the things that are potentially holding you back? And then on the other side, put forth the things that are propelling you, right? What's your motivation? So maybe you just have obstacles and motivation, right? What's motivating you? Think about your why, right? Maybe you have some young siblings that you just want them to be taken care of. Maybe you have someone in your family who really needs support and you want to work hard to give them what they need. Maybe your mom needs a car so she doesn't have to walk to work. I don't know. But you need to think about deep, passionate things that you're not going to quit on. Because here's the thing. 2.5 years, I did not make a lot of money. But I always always had the same work ethic. I always had the same focus. I always had the same consistency because the reason why I was doing the business was concrete. I wanted to retire my parents. No matter what, that was going to be my goal. People could say whatever they want, but because of iMarkets Live, I've given my parents almost $200,000 US over the past 2 years. I bought my mom a brand new car for Christmas. So whatever they want to say, guys, when you do things with the right intention, when you're focused, when you have your goals on paper and you go out and attack it, anything is possible. Because 2.5, 3 years ago, I was broke. I was probably more broke than anybody in this room. I had barely any money. I had actually no money. I was like negative money. And everything changed because of my decisions, okay? So I want to write down these things. How do I make you an influencer? How do I build you to be an influencer? Consistency is the foundation, okay? Some of this stuff might overlap. Bro, they ain't kicking me out in 9 minutes. We're good. Okay? Consistency. Key. I'm going to give you guys 14 things. Some of this may overlap with what some of the other leaders talked about, and that's good. That's called validation because I didn't hear anything. So if you hear it from multiple people who have results, that's usually a good thing, right? Consistency is the most important. Anything else doesn't matter if you do not remain consistent. Because here's the thing. You could be the smartest person in the room. You could be the most aspiring trader in the world. But if you only trade or you only work on your craft 1 or 2 days a week, it doesn't matter because someone who is consistent, they're just going to run laps around you. They're literally going to run laps around you. And it goes back to this goal setting thing that I talked about before, where all these people said, I'm not scared of my goals. I said, you got to start getting intimidated by the things that you put out there. Because if you're not aiming to achieve at a high level, you're going to fall what we call below average. Which is why I believe there's such a big divide. This is my opinion. But I believe the reason why there's only there's only 3 to 5% of people in the world that achieve success is simply because of the way that they set their goals, simply because of the way that they direct their mind, and simply because of a lack of consistency from most people. That's it. You want to have success? Just keep working. Because the one thing that nobody can say about all the leaders in the front of the room is that we've ever slowed down. I've known Jerome for 4 or 5 years, and Jerome has always been working. Always. 5 years straight. Chris Derrick, always working. Luc, always working. Ralph, always working. Gabe, always working. So you got to follow people. Kenny, too. How long have you been in IMO?
No.
About a year? More.
Year and 4 months.
A year and 4 months? 16 months consistency. He has a result. People who started with you. Some people, maybe a couple people that aren't here, they're not here because they weren't consistent. That's all. So consistency really is the foundation, okay? Number 2, awareness. Awareness. And this more pertains to emotion than it does to anything else. Because a lot of the times the energy that we bring to the table will dictate a lot of our results. Right? Would you guys want to be on an airplane? Okay, especially up here in the north region where there's like snow and ice and all that stuff. And it's cold. I mean, I'm telling you guys, I've taken like 500 planes, and I was a little bit nervous taking off from Finland because there was a lot of snow on the ground. I'm like, so what happens when we land? Is this thing gonna like slide and spin? Like, Jesus, please watch me. Imagine if you're in that environment and the plane just doesn't have a lot of energy. It's like shaking and making all weird noise. Are you guys gonna feel comfortable with that?
No.
No. So imagine you're presenting something different to people, right? You're showing them something different than what they've seen before, and you're shaking, right? Maybe some of you guys making some weird noises. I don't know, but you're a little bit uncertain. You're a little bit unaware of your emotion. That's going to rub off. That's going to reflect. Because they're going to see that you're nervous about something that you're really not nervous about. So here's what I'm talking about when it comes to awareness. A lot of you guys believe in it. This is like powerful stuff that I'm teaching you guys. Like this is like secrets to become super successful. Okay? A lot of you guys are certain about where you want to go. Right? How many of you are certain about where you want to go? Okay. For those who didn't raise their hand, I want you to think about what is holding you back, or maybe you just didn't raise it all. All right, let's do it again. If you're certain about where you want to go, like really raise your hand. Don't go half off. I'm not judging anybody. I'm not going to look. I promise. You got to do that for you, not for me. Okay, hands down. So if you're certain about your success. Like you already know, 100%, this is where I'm going, it's done. Then why do you lack confidence sometimes? Okay? Now here's the thing. You're letting emotion from other areas come in. Right? Maybe you got bullied when you were younger. Maybe you were the youngest sibling. Maybe you, I don't know, were overweight. Or maybe you, I don't know, were antisocial. Or people told you were antisocial, so you started believing it. And you're letting all those problems bleed in to the situation that you raised your hand and said, I believe in 100%. Does that make sense? So what we can do to get past this is become emotionally aware of the moment. Think about what you're feeling, right? If you're feeling a certain emotion, whether it's good or bad, and dissect why. See, I'm reading this book called Emotional Intelligence, and I would honestly just recommend all of you guys read it because it's powerful. Maybe some of you already have. Super powerful. Okay? And this is what it talks about. So if this is something that really interests you, that book literally dissects like all the human emotions, how to control it, how to become emotionally aware, because there's a part of our brain up here, all the way in the front, that thinks practically, okay? That thinks like direct. Like, and then there's all this smoke in the middle, right? That are fear mechanisms and defense mechanisms that are from thousands of years ago when we used to have dinosaurs chasing us or something like that, you know? And so naturally, we have to learn to move past that part of our brain, okay? It's called the reptilian brain. We have to learn to think and become aware of getting past that so we don't have reactions, so we don't get nervous, so we don't get scared. Because honestly, the only time that I'm scared is if there's a gun or a knife in my face. Really, think about it. Some people are scared of public speaking. Why? None of you guys are going to hurt me physically. You're not going to hurt me emotionally. What should I be scared of? You're all people, right? But that's sometimes not a practical thought. Some people get up here and they're so scared because of all the other emotion that's coming in from other points in their life. Does that make sense? Yeah. Become emotionally aware. Very important. Okay, let's move forward. Feet in the ground. I'm going to breeze through a few of these because you guys will get it. Commitment. Feet in the ground. Make a firm decision. That's important. Okay? Number 4, focus. Jerome talked about it. Focus. What does that mean? Focus means that your feet are in the ground first. There's a reason why I put commitment first. Your feet are in the ground. You know exactly where you want to go. Your goals are very specific. One thing that I just did, a friend of mine inspired me to do this, and I just did it 2 days ago. I literally wrote out the entire vision of my life after the fact, or during the fact, right? I tried to go like, okay, this is Jason speaking in 30 years from now. These are the outcomes of everything. This is the outcome of my life. This is what I'm talking very specific. Like I walk into my house and there's like a 10,000 gallon fish tank with sharks. Like there's monkeys, there's this car. My wife has all these qualities. This is my kids. This is what, everything. You got to get super specific and descriptive because here's how the human brain works. We start saying things and then they get created. And once they're created, they're there forever, and then it's just our job to fill it up. Right? So think of it like an empty battery. Right? Every time you put a goal on paper, every time you put your dreams out there, you write them down, you're basically creating a battery. And then your job is to charge the battery. We know the phone works, but the phone only works with what? Battery. Commitment. Focus. Once you have your stuff clear, game over. Attention to detail. Okay? You got to get very specific about what's going on around you. You got to get very specific about the customers in your team, right? The customers in your organization. You got to get very specific about their goals. Because some of the best people in my business were once P1000s. Like, you know, when Jerome came in, and Ralph and all these guys, I had like 100 chairmen already. But I understood potential. I understood talent. I understood work ethic. Actually, forget potential. Potential doesn't mean anything. I just knew what type of leaders they are. So that attention to detail, while a lot of people were overlooking their organization, I'm like, whatever you guys need, whatever you guys need. And you know what? When they become successful, a lot of people are going to take credit and say, yeah, they're in my team. Yeah, that's my chairman. And that's great to celebrate people. But how does it feel to you if you're working all this time and nobody's ever really said, hey, look, I'm watching what you're doing a great job. But then when you become successful, everybody's like, yeah, that's my boy. Think about that as a leader, right? To be ahead of the game. Because I'd rather have a genuine friendship, and well before Kenneth ever hit chairman, to say, yeah, I came to Estonia, he already had success, and I just poured more gas on the fire. Then, hey, congrats, bro, you hit chairman, I'm going to come to Estonia now. Right? It's just about being real or not. And I don't do this business for the money. I really don't care. Honestly, sometimes I forget money in Paylution for weeks. Because to me, I'm so focused on helping other people. And I want you guys to start setting your goals away from yourself. Because if all you focus on is you guys are laughing. It's easy to do, I guess. Yeah. If all you're focused on is you, okay, you're never going to win. Write that down. If all you look at is your own back office, all you're worried about is your own rank, your dream board is all about you, guess what? You're not going to do. You're not going to win. And if you win, it's not going to be for a long period of time. Because people understand if you have a good heart. People understand if you're a good person. And because you are a good person, opportunity will always come. So you don't have to think scarce anymore. I'm telling you guys the truth. I get opportunities to invest and be a part of great projects almost every single day. And I get to make the decision if I want to invest and be a part of these certain things based upon the people that's doing them. Right? The people that are putting it together. So you guys can really position yourself for success. But the first thing you got to do is clean up all your habits and get a really clean idea of who you are and who you want to become. You got to be specific. Okay, the next thing that I wrote down is going the extra mile. Average work ethic does not get over-rewarded. Okay? It could get rewarded. If you work sometimes, then you'll get paid some days. Right? But some day has never been a day of the week for me. I don't know about you guys. I got 7 days. Monday through Sunday. Some people have 8. Someday. Yeah, someday I'll be successful. Yeah, some days I get paid, some days I don't. Some days I work, some days I don't. Some days I watch Netflix. Okay? I don't do some days. Like if I'm here, if I'm living, if I'm breathing, we're working. We're doing something productive. We're giving value. We're touching people. We're being influential. But you have to go the extra mile. Sometimes you have to do things that you don't want to do. Write that down. In order to get successful, you're going to have to do some things that you really don't want to do. You're going to have to sit down and have some conversations that you don't want to have. You're going to have to be at a meeting tomorrow when you might not actually want to be there. But guess what? It's going to contribute to your success. Go the extra mile. Whatever you observe other people not willing to do, my challenge to you is to do it. Right? If you see people are showing up to an event late, show up early and stay late. Because one of the most important things that I have written down here is leading by example. Leading by example. How you do anything is how you do everything. And how you do everything is how everybody else is going to do it. That's why I don't really like showing up to a training like this, but I have no choice. Because I would rather show up, all you guys are dressed nice, and I look like a homeless guy. Well, the good thing is you guys know I'm not homeless, so we're good. But there's a standard, right? There's a precedent that you set if you want people to follow you. You got to lead by example. If you can't come to me or Ken or Jerome or anybody and say, man, my team's not motivated. My team's not working. My team's not going for their goals. My team's not prospecting. My team's not bringing people to the event because I'm already going to know what the problem is. The problem is not the team. The problem is you. Most of the time. You guys agree with this?
Yeah.
Does it make sense? I'm going to wrap up. Okay? Community. One of the most important things that I'm talking about this entire tour. Write down community, and then the next one, write down edification and respect. I do not care who's in whose team, who enrolled who's sidelined to who's in this city or that city, whose mom and dad has a nice Bentley or whatever. Who cares, really? We got to start working as a unit because everything that we do, okay, everything that we do is a reflection of something, okay? So everything that we do is going to be a reflection first of the city. Then it's going to be a reflection of the country. Then it's going to be a reflection of the industry, right? Then it's going to be a reflection of the company. So think about the example that you're leading by, right? But also think about the community. Because when everybody is together, when everybody is strong, no matter what, right? When everybody's connected and everybody's unified, it's very hard to break that. Right? It's very hard to lose momentum. It's very hard to go against something that is really strong. And the concrete between the bricks that make up a wall is the most important part. Right? Think about that. A brick wall, a brick house doesn't mean anything unless there's concrete in between each brick, specifically detailed to make sure that we didn't miss a spot. Because if there's one weakness in the wall and I start going at it, I'm taking that wall down. That makes sense? So you guys got to start thinking about the glue, right? Think about the concrete between the bricks that builds this team. If you guys really want to go and put 10,000 people in an arena in Estonia in the next 3 years, so I know we can do it, then we got to really unify and have each other's backs and be leaders, not just followers. Right? You're not just part of Kenneth's team anymore. Or maybe it's not even the case now. I'm just saying. You guys are the Estonia group, the Estonia organization. You represent the country, but you also represent iMarkets Live. So you got to start thinking about your contributions. And this is a reality check for some people, but write this down. I'll let you make the decision. Are you an asset to the team, or are you a liability? I'm not going to get personal, but that's a question you have to ask yourself. Am I an asset to the team, or am I becoming a liability? Am I putting more stress, more blockage, more obstacles in the organization, or am I contributing? Am I a creator? Am I helping people? Am I fulfilling? It's real talk right now. Think about that. And guess what? I would actually be impressed by the person who says, you know what? Up until this point, I've been a liability. Because sometimes we lie to ourselves to protect our emotions. And it's just better sometimes to be honest. Right? I used to be so stubborn and thinking like Jason has to be perfect. Jason has to be perfect. And I used to battle every single thing that I did wrong and put the blame on everybody else. And I said, wait a minute. Good person, good work ethic, you're going to make mistakes. You guys have to understand you are human beings, right? Even though you want to be perfect, you want to do great things, you're not going to do everything great. You're not going to do everything perfect. So I'd rather you identify now, especially since most of you are young, that you're more of an asset than a liability. Are you an asset in your family? Because remember what I just said. How you do anything is how you do everything. When you go home tonight, is your mom still the one taking out the garbage and you walk past it every day? Right? Is your dad still taking out the dogs when you know what? You know you can do it, you just pass it up because he'll do it anyway. Right? Like, think about all these things. Right? I look at my little brother. He's 4 years younger than me. And up until like a year ago, 2 years ago, he was still living at home, and I went back to visit, and his clothes are still on the floor after he takes a shower. And I'm like, dude, you're a man right now. Like, you're 24 years old. You got to stop being a liability and start being an asset. And he changed everything. He was like, damn, you're right. No, I know I'm right. Because there comes a point in time where you have to be the person that takes responsibility. Your success is about you. It's not about me. Okay. I'm getting fired up. Okay. Let's go recognition. Recognition. Write down the word recognition. Recognition is one of the most important aspects of anybody's life journey. Right? Chris, you're a great friend, bro. I appreciate you. Look at the smile. You're supposed to use it, see? It's a big cheat. Right? When you go the extra mile when it comes to recognition, you make people feel good. Right? You can inspire. You can just, like, you go into their brain and you just pump them with good energy, good vibe, good feeling, right? And it's just the way that human beings operate, right? What makes you tick, what makes you feel good. And we know that when babies don't get attention, they what? They cry. And guess what happens when adults don't get attention?
They cry.
They cry. And guess what happens when teenagers don't get attention? They cry. And for all the guys in the room that have girlfriends, they get upset when they don't get what? Attention. Right? We know that. And all the girls, you're like, look, He's right. So if your boyfriend's in the room, I got you. Recognition, right? When you pay attention to detail, when you recognize people for the things that they're contributing, it's a tactic of empowerment. But write down this word, genuine. Don't say it if you don't mean it. Because the only thing you die with is your word. That's it. The only thing you die with is your reputation. So if you're going to say it, mean it. Right? But when somebody wins, this is huge. You guys know David M. right?
Yes.
Okay, David. Yes. Chairman 500, you got to know him. David said something to me. He said, Jason, the reason I have so much respect for you, because David's older than me, he's like 6 years older, so he's right in that range where he's like, you know, it's not like he's an old man and I'm a young kid. We're like about the same age, but he's like, you know, old enough. Like, he's like the senior in high school and I was like 8th grade and he's like, you know, he's like, dude, you're a little kid, you know? And he said, Jason, the reason I have so much respect for you is because the way that you celebrate people, even when it's not your own win, even when it's not your own celebration. He said, I can see your genuine appreciation for seeing other people win. And he said, and that's why you have all the blessings you do in your life. Because when people are winning, typically, other people are observing the way that you celebrate. So you might be at the event tomorrow, and we're doing recognition, and we're talking about P2000, P1000, P600s, P150s. And some of you guys, if I didn't say this, are going to be in those chairs secretly jealous. But it's not that much of a secret. Because when you're not clapping or smiling, or you like, we know the deal. You have to, I'm going to give you guys the juice right now. Okay? You guys are about to get the juice. I need some water though. You guys are about to get the juice, okay? You need to remove, there's a reason why you have to do this, okay? You need to remove things internally to make room for more. Does that make sense? So there's a lot of things that we don't release, right? There's a lot of maybe pain from the past or, you know, just things that have bothered us or, you know, things that are holding us up. And we let that stay inside. We keep that. We keep that. And it just bears weight, right? And that emotional weight is sometimes heavier than even if I dropped a refrigerator on your back. Emotional weight weighs more. Yes? How many people have been there before? Emotional weight holds you down. You're in bed for 3 days. Upset. You lost a family member. Got dumped. Whatever. Emotional weight is heavy. Okay? But understand one thing. When you learn to release things, okay? You can release it in a number of different ways, through journaling, through writing stuff down, through talking to people, through putting your goals in public, or through recognizing other people. You make room for more. So as you can let that emotion out, as you can let that weight off your chest, how many people have heard that expression before? I'm going to let the weight off my chest. You guys heard that? Okay. I'm going to let the weight off my chest. Well, that's what it means. That emotional weight is heavy. When you let that go, you leave room for more. So when you give in abundance, you can then receive in what? Abundance. So when you start celebrating other people's success, you leave room for what? Your own success. This is major. If you guys understand how important it is to find a way in your heart to genuinely celebrate other people winning, I promise you guys 2019 is going to be just a warm-up. Just a warm-up. This is a secret for long-term success. I get excited. I'm more excited about Jerome hitting chairman in the next few weeks than I am about my own numbers. I don't even care, right, about where we're going and all that stuff. I get excited about my leaders winning. I get excited about my friends winning. I get excited about you guys winning. So that way, naturally, I already know I'm going to win. So I don't even have to think about it. Some people are so worried about themselves that that's all that consumes them. And that's why they never have results, because they're not paying attention to anything else that's happening. Okay, the next one is have a clear game plan. Okay? Your game plan has to be vivid. It has to be very, very, very vivid. All right? One of the things that I appreciate is when I got here, guys, I've traveled to like, you don't even know. I've traveled to, so I've been to 37 countries. And I've done probably, 200 events, okay, over the past 2 years. And I think for the first time ever, when I got here, Kenneth handed me a paper with the agenda.
Wow.
First time ever. Do you guys understand how impressive that is for me? How old are you, Ken? 19, right? 21. Okay. I thought you were 19 for some reason. 21. 21, 19, same thing. I'm old enough to be everyone here's older brother. So, the first time that somebody handed me a paper with the agenda. That's impressive. Why? Because it's a clear game plan, and that's what I was going to teach you guys anyway. See, this is going to make you realize that, and look, I had the same realization. I wasn't taking my trading serious because I wasn't treating it like it was serious. It was a thing where, hey, you know what? This may work, but if it doesn't, I still live at home, so I'm good, right? I can still borrow some money from my parents to pay my car, so you know what? In the back of your head, in your subconscious, you already have that safety cushion. So that's holding you back from creating a clear game plan. To say, okay, we have this event. Alex Morton is coming to Europe in April. We need a clear game plan. Immediately. How many people we want in the room, right? We need to start planning so we can pre-sell tickets. We need to be prepared. Because 3 months after that, another leader will come. Right? And 3 months after that, another leader will come. And we have an opportunity to go from a 400-person event that's making some people jealous to an 800-people event. That's going to make even more people jealous. And then we can go to like 1,500 and 2,000, and then maybe they'll join. That's maybe at that point. We've got to have a clear game plan. Gotta. Listen to me. Get together with the team. Everybody should be in the same boat. Not 50 different boats all going in the same direction, because some people are going to get lost. Some people are going to get tired. If everybody's together in one boat going in one direction, you guys will never, ever have a problem continuing to grow this market. Okay, the last thing I'm going to talk about is a culture that's based around accepting failure. Think about that. What does that mean? That means that we have to be honest. First with ourselves and then with everyone around us. Okay? You're not going to always win. How many people here have lost some trades? And if you laugh, I already knew you blew accounts, so I won't ask. Every great trader blows accounts. You know, 2 years ago, one day Chris Terry calls me. He's like, bro, I gotta tell you, man. He didn't say bro. He's like, hey, I gotta tell you something. I'm like, what's up? He's like, man, I forgot that he had some people over, and he was showing them futures. And he was trading on his real account. And ISIS called him and said, Chris, the account is down like 300,000. What happened? And he's like, what do you mean? No, it's not. I haven't traded in like a month. And he logs on the computer, and he had a bunch of trades that were open that he forgot about. So, instead of getting upset, he accepted the failure. He said, all right, we're going to close this trade out. Take the loss. Okay, we're going to take the loss. Imagine, okay, some of you guys lost $3 and are upset. Okay? I lost 30 pips, bro. And he's like, I went in. And he made all the money back. And then some. Because the first step to success is about accepting failure and understanding that every time you fail, it's a lesson, a very pivotal lesson. Because the more you fail, the better you're going to get. As you fail, you adjust. Write down the word adjust. As long as you're failing and adjusting, failing and adjusting, failing and adjusting, failing and adjusting, you're definitely going to beat out all the people that fail and quit. Right? Yeah? You know how many people fail and quit? 95%. That would be my guess. 95% of people fail at something and quit. And there's your reason. I just gave you guys the complete mental understanding of how you can go to the top 5%. Okay? In anything that you do. anything that we do, anything that we focus on, we have to have the right approach, the right mentality, the right expectation. Okay, write that word down. Expectation. Right? Creating this environment that's based around accepting failure starts with the expectations that we set. See, if we tell people the truth, hey look, this is an education platform. You know what? Some people, they might not join because they don't want to do the work. But that's okay. Because I would rather tell somebody, look, you're going to have to work to make this work, than tell them, look, just download Swipe Trades, just download Gold Cup, and just copy Luke, and everything's going to be great. You're going to make a lot of money. That's what people get upset about. When things sound way too easy, way too good to be true, and then what happens? Every customer that has a bad experience, okay, is based upon, it's not based on IML. I can show you guys thousands of people that are winning. So IML is providing the value. I want you guys to really think about this, what I'm about to tell you. We know the tools work. We know the services are working. We know that. So the only reason someone would have a bad experience is based upon the expectation that we set for them. If we told them it was going to be easy and they realized it wasn't. If we told them that they were definitely going to make money the first month and they didn't. If we told them that everybody's winning and then they found someone who isn't winning. So if we create a culture that highlights and says, look, you know what? We lose probably 3 or 4 trades out of 10. But you know what? We focus on winning more than we lose. That's our goal. Right? We learn from our losing trades. So when my team loses trades, we celebrate. People look at you like, what? No, we celebrate because we know we're not going to do it again. So I'd rather lose now when I have a few $100s in my account than later when I have tens of thousands. Because we know we're not going to do it again. Does that make sense? Yeah. So stop fearing failure, because here's the thing. A lot of people are not going to join if you make it sound too good, because they're going to see right through it. Their gut, their subconscious, all the barriers that have been built in their whole life, they're going to start coming out and they're going to make every excuse. I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have this, I don't have a wife, but my wife's not letting me do it anyway. They're going to make every excuse possible. And guess what? Yes, they have time. Because if you're single, okay, I'm going to prove to you guys that all these objections are BS. Okay? If you're single and you find the perfect person, can you find some time?
Yeah.
Yes. If you're single and you're busy and you're rocking and you're doing your thing and you find the right person, can you find time? Yes. Do you find time? Yes. Sometimes people find too much time. And then they go from, Chairman 10 to Platinum 150. And we're like, time to go back to work. Okay? Now, what about the time? Now, what about this? Jason, I don't have enough money. They see more value in their Xbox. They see more value in playing Fortnite 8 hours a day than they do. Fortnite might be big out here. We saw some professional gamer, I don't know, playing Puffy or something. I was like, that guy definitely plays Fortnite. They just see more value in the car than they do in the opportunity. Does that make sense? So when people give you excuses, it's really just an excuse. No matter what they say, I don't have time, I don't have money, I don't have this, my wife said no, all this stuff, there's a way around that, and it's called the truth. That when you want to make something work, you make a priority. So if people are telling you no, the value that you present and the value that you're bringing to the table just needs to go up. Okay? That's it. Now here's the deal. We're going to wrap up this meeting. I got to do some stuff. I know. Oh yeah. Las Vegas. Thank you, bro. Okay. Convention. Let's talk. I'll wrap up with this. How many people have been to an event before? Where'd you go? Miami, right?
It was just in Estonia, I think it was.
Okay. How many people went out of the U.S. for an event? Okay. I thought you looked familiar. Okay. 3. And Jerome. All right. What did the event do for you?
Change my perspective, or like kind of general.
It just opened things up, right? Okay. So we were in Portugal, and this guy that sat across from me at the leadership dinner, okay, he said, "Bro, you changed my life." And I was like, Awesome, man. You know, it's, you just don't really know what to say. You're just like, thank you, I appreciate that. And he said, no, here's why. He said, because when you were here, you stressed the importance for me to go to Miami, to the event. I was a Platinum 150. And I found the money and I made it work. And when I got home from the event, I knew everything that I needed to do. And I hit Platinum 600 in 1 week, Platinum 1000 in 30 days. He's made the money back from that investment to go to Miami, for sure, a couple times. He's about to hit 2K. About to hit 2K, Platinum 2K. Here's why events are important. Because the company is in the United States, right? A lot of the leaders are in the United States. Now we have big teams all across the world, but the company, the roots, are in the United States, right? So you guys being over here as the pioneers, that's what you are, right? You're like the founders of IML in Estonia. You guys have to understand the vision of the company, the passion of the leaders, right? The way that things are done, so you can bring it back home here and do what we do, say what we say, get what we get, type of thing, right? So when you go out and you're in a room like this, you're one of, how many people are here? 50, 60 people? 80 people? Damn, that's a lot of people. When you're here with 70, 80, 90 people in a room and tomorrow 400 or 500, you know, sometimes you feel like a little bit bigger than you are, right? You feel like a little bit of a bigger fish. When you go to that convention, you feel like you're this big. Mm-hmm. You're like, wow. You know, there's like 150, 200, 300 Platinum 2000s getting up at one time to walk across the stage, right? How did you feel? You felt inspired to go do more because you know that there more is possible. See, some of you guys are like a little goldfish just swimming around in your little bowl, right? You're just there. You're like, dude, this is cool. This is comfortable. I'm P600. I'm making more money than a lot of people. I'm chilling. You know, I'm doing my thing. You don't realize what's actually possible. So my advice to you is, if it's possible, make the commitment and go to Las Vegas. I'm not telling you that because I make money if you go. It actually doesn't matter to me if you go financially, but it matters to me spiritually if you guys go. Right? It matters to you because I know what's going to happen. I know that if you go there, your vision is going to grow. And what do we drive the business on? What did I start this training off with? The importance of vision, right? Talk about the importance of vision. So for you guys to go out to that event, it's massive. And I'll tell you right now, I can't disclose where this company is going, but we hired 2 massive executives. Okay, one of them was a part of 2 $1 billion companies. Okay, you guys are familiar with Jeunesse, right? I saw a big Jeunesse building as we were coming in. I think it's pretty big here, right? Is it Jeunesse that we saw or no? Yeah, right? He did all the logos, all the branding, all the product design. If you Google like Jeunesse's product line, it's expensive skincare and stuff like that, but it looks really, really, really nice. He's coming in to be our chief marketing officer. So if you guys are in the IML official Telegram, I posted a video about an hour, 2 hours ago with the promotion for the event. That was work that he did in 24 hours. Go look at it. 24 hours he did that work. Over the next year, this company is going to transform. It's going to evolve. The brand, the feel, the marketing, everything. So right now, we're like in like a pre-launch phase, really. We have something great. But I want you guys to understand that we're like 1 to 5% of where we're going to be in the next, even the next 12 to 24 months. We're like right there. And we're going here. Then we hired a guy who's the chief operating officer who created all the foundation, all the legal, all the registrations, all the everything that happened for a massive company, billion-dollar company, travel company. So he has experience for over 12 years in the digital space. That's what we do. He's an expert in Europe, Asia, South America. So he's helping us create a very strong infrastructure around the world. So these people coming on board was a big indicator for me that my mentor is still hungry, Christopher Terry, right? That he wants not just to be, last year the company did $180 million. $180 million on Market's Live in sales. But he wants to continue to grow, and guess what happens when the company grows? We all grow, because we are part of the company, okay? So if you guys can get out to Las Vegas, do it. Make that commitment. If you're not prepared to do that, don't make that mistake again, right? Because you need to be at that event in September, no matter what. You really should be at Vegas. Really, really, really should be. Right? You should make that a priority. Find a way. Right? Pool together. Get an Airbnb. My first 3 events, I slept on the floor. And those events are the reason why I'm successful. So you have to ask yourself, what are you willing to trade? What are you willing to sacrifice in order to make capacity for your success? Okay? Because those events gave me the belief. I remember my first event, 30 days into network marketing 5 years ago. And this kid named Diego, he gets on stage, he had just hit what's called presidential in that company, which is Chairman 10. Okay? And his mom was in the crowd, but I didn't know. Nobody knew. And he gets on and he starts telling his story, and he's like, look, when this person brought this opportunity to me, he said, my mom was cleaning toilets at the hotel. Okay? She was cleaning toilets for a living. No dad, and guess what I was doing? Cleaning toilets with her. That was our job, to clean up at a hotel. And he said, I saw this opportunity, and I knew that I had to make it work because I couldn't watch my mom continue to come home from work every day knowing that she was cleaning up toilets. So he went all in and he made it work. And my parents didn't clean toilets, so number one, I felt super grateful. I was like, damn, there's always somebody who has it worse than you, right? You got to realize that. There's always somebody out there who has it worse than you do right now. But it also ignited even further and validated even further the reason why I was doing the business in the first place, and it was to take care of my parents. And I saw somebody who had that result who made it happen. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't need to see a lot of success to know that I can do something. I just need to know that one person can do it, and if nobody's done it, I'll do it myself. When we came into iMarkets Live, nobody had results. There was one product, the harmonic scanner. Nobody really had results trading, but we had the vision. Okay? So going to an event is absolutely pivotal. I appreciate you guys. I'm going to roll out of here. I got to take care of some stuff and get prepared for tomorrow. Here's my advice. Well, anyway, if you guys want to take pictures and stuff, let's do that tomorrow because that'll look very good. I mean, I look good up here, but... So we'll do that tomorrow. Cool. Everybody good with that? My bag doesn't come. I hope there's a good mall around here. Just gotta get some.
There is.
Stuff. But yeah, I gotta go take care of some things. But here's what I'm gonna say: come to the event early. Spend time following up with your prospects, people that you've invited. Just because they said yes doesn't always mean yes. Sometimes they need to be reminded. So take tomorrow serious. Even if you can do it for a half hour or an hour, really push. I know the event's sold out, but still push. If there's some cases that you want to bring, if there's some important people that you want to bring them. That's my challenge to you. Go on your chicken list and bring the people that you were scared to invite. Because that person might be the next big wave. Right? If you don't invite them, they're just going to not have the opportunity. All right? So thank you guys. I appreciate you.